Just talking to myself, apparently. Can you guys hear me? All right. Hopefully one of these things will turn on so I can tell if I'm being heard. Just talking to myself, apparently. Yep. Appreciate the exclamation point joins, but apparently they couldn't even hear me, so it's okay. Appreciate you guys being here. All right, so we're going to start this right from the top, because I just said a lot of things and you guys were staring at me just talking to the void. That's perfect. That's awesome. All right, so getting back to what else. Welcome back to Humber Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D. Today, it's going to be me solo, mostly because Marcus is sick, sadly, and couldn't make it. And unfortunately, I can't go without. I'd love to usually take these types of nights off for covering some content, because if I don't have my caster or the format that I really like to put it in, really seems like it's just gonna be me talking at you the whole time, which I can take it or leave it. I don't really have any feedback that says one works better than the other, but personally, as a content creator, I like to take breaks. I like to, take a drink. I like to have moments where I can just stop talking for a little bit. But when you're out here and trying to engage with these people, you really want to be talking as much as possible. And I've noticed recently that the Twitch algorithm has been severely punishing me for having to miss days, whether it be for work, whether it be for other situations, life situations. If I don't go live when I tell them I'm going to go live, I don't get pushed and I don't get the recommendation sent. So sadly, it's one of those situations where I unfortunately I have to keep covering these things, have to keep going live for these things, or the algorithm's going to punish me up to oblivion, and it's just going to take me that much longer for me to keep growing the channel the way I want to. So I'm going to get this content. I'm going to make it fun for you. It is just me today, but we got some great content. Some stuff I didn't want to miss either. Some stuff I really want to showcase to you guys. We have the Halloween special at Lifelink Games coming to you live here. We're going to have 3 rounds of what was probably the most fun tournament I've ever taken place in One Piece today. It's a really cool idea given by Chris, Daddy Lifelink, from Lifelink, of course, who came up with these 6 different rules. A die is going to be rolled, and in each round, one of the rules will be applied. I'll be going over each one of those rules here shortly, especially right before the games, because I'm going to showcase what it is, the rule that's being applied for that match. Some of them pretty detrimental for the decks. Some of them kind of going to save the games, and some of them definitely just made things a lot more interesting and more comical as you see how things play out. Of course, if you've seen my Patreon, you know I'm going to be on camera all day today. I got 3 rounds of myself playing Red Green Smoker, and I'll be showcasing this deck against the last little bit, but this is it, guys. This is the last ever championship for Championship Series 5 that anyone can earn any kind of points. We're going to finalize this tournament. It's going to be done after tonight, and I replace this. I'm going to have my top 8 bracket for the championship bracket, the Pirates bracket, and of course the side bracket where we have extra content for those people that might want to play some winter boxes, do some side events, and just really take part in what is really a fun atmosphere for the One Piece environment. I will say the side events will be OP13 legal. However, the championship series for both the Pirates champion and the championship bracket will be OP12. This will be the sign-off. I don't want any last-minute changes. I don't want to see anybody playing with some new decks they're not used to, and I definitely want to see some good, clean gameplay going from a lot of people who understand what the meta looks like. It's going to be the closeout of the OP12 era, and we're going to move ourselves into what is just this coming up week, the OP13 era, and what could be possibly Emu, Roger, Blue Red Ace, and of course, he's still in the meta, Green Zoro. So we have 4 competitive decks that have been recorded doing pretty well, especially over in Asia, but it doesn't mean that's going to be our meta here. It's one of the things that I've seen a lot while doing studies of different games from across the seas, is that the American, or at least the Western competitive era, always seems to be just a little bit different than our Asian counterparts. Mostly because they believe in consistency, and they like to get decks that work and flow within a simple F A, then B, then C, then D. And it works for them because those decks are incredibly successful. And when you go to those championships and you see the Worlds events, you can see how much better it's trained them for those type of metas. However, in America, we like to gamble. And we like to gamble big. We like to gamble with big 1 chances, 2-card combos, random things that can work in small situations but be so devastating. And you'll be able to see some of that commentary on some of my new Union Arena coverage I'll be putting on YouTube later on this week. I will be, of course, leaving for the Thanksgiving week, so if you guys are planning for that, I'll be out of town. I'll be going home to my family, going to catch up with them, can't wait to spend time with my family and then just really get a nice little week so I can take that time to improve my content and get this out to the masses. I've been really working hard on ideas for content and creation, and with a lack of an editor, I've been trying to figure out ways for myself to try to get this content out to you, because I really want to get to the time, get this content out to you at your convenience, because I realize we are living in the new age. Twitch, as fun as it is to get engagement, talk to the fans, and get the feedback and just have a nice little conversation with you, isn't always the best thing for a product. People can get the stuff on demand when they want it. Asking them to come at a specific time for a specific length of time, it's not always going to work. It's really hard. That's why I do the things I do to try and incentivize you to want to come out and at least do what Lonely Doom bought inside it. We have 4 packs left in this community box. We have 2 to give away tonight. Out of these 4 packs, there is an altar left. And that is the beauty of doing these community boxes, is we can kind of map, if you will, the hits. We'll know how many hits are per box, and all the hits are guaranteed to go to you. So if you're watching this content live or through the VOD, you should be watching it live, because tonight we're going to be spinning a wheel for these 2 packs on my right hand side right here. These 2 packs going to be going away to one of you out there who comment on YouTube, which is right in front of me, or on Twitch. If you guys comment there, then I'll make sure that I put you on the wheel, and we're going to get you, at the end of the day, some pack openings and potentially some massive hits. There's some good alts in here. If you don't win, it's rigged. Right now, there's no way you can't not win right now. Sai at this point says, like, there's 2 names on the list. If he doesn't win right now, it's absolutely rigged against him, absolutely. But it's your chance to get the last little bit, because of course, after this week, starting next week, we're going to get into our community box. I'm super excited to show you guys the One Piece PRB 2 box. Now, I only got one of these to open for myself. We got a bunch of prize support for the guys in the Championship Series, but this is it. This is all the store got. This is all that's left. And there was no God Pack pulled. There was several Don and some other stuff out there. I don't even remember hearing about a manga. Maybe there was. I don't remember hearing about one. But there's a lot of potential hits in this box. Curly, good to see you, and thank you. Hey, Doncree69, appreciate you. Doncree, One Piece talk. Yeah, I mean, right now it's One Piece talk. We're gonna get into some gameplay here. I've got some really cool, fun tournament stuff we'll get into after this brief introduction. But yes, we're just doing some One Piece TCG discussions, talking about what's coming up soon. Talking about some of the stuff that's coming for our local area and game store, and maybe some stuff, if you guys are out of state, a way for you to get your hands on some really cool product at a affordable price. One of the things I love about working for Lifelink Games is that we are one of the few companies out there that are going to the ends of the earth and making sure that every single product we sell is as close to MSRP as absolutely possible, or we can keep the door open. So we don't scalp, we don't go double, we go what you should be paying for Pokemon, for Riftbound, which is just around the corner. Got some cool stories about that. For One Piece, for when we were doing One Piece, I think we were at 140 boxes. We're going for like 280. For Gundam, we just sold our boxes out last weekend for the Gundam release. It was at 120. Those boxes are going for 240. We sold the starter decks for 15. Those things are going for 50. But yes, are you caught up on the manga border? Or are you talking about the? And what is the company name? Lifelink Games. Humbro Pie? No, Lifelink Games. I'll show you the website in just a minute. Sai, rule on this channel is as follows: anime is fair game talk, but manga is not. Okay, so if you're talking about the manga itself and the storyline, I'm completely caught up, but it is a rule. I do thank you very much for that, for Sai. It is a rule. We don't talk about the manga because I'm giving chance for anime people to stay caught up. So if you want to talk about the anime, I'm all ears, and I can talk to you theory craft all day. Great, I love it. I know kind of where we're at. You guys have to remind me what that last episode was. I know Egghead is there, so we're dealing with the attack of Nami, or attack on Robin, and Nami saves her, and I think that was the last episode that we left off on. So I know vaguely, like pretty sure I remember for the manga, but I'm way ahead with the manga with you guys. But yeah. I have a theory you don't, you need the manga to know? Okay, I would love to hear that. Don Crease is not, like, get in the chat. If you can join my Discord, hit me up with that. I'd love to talk to you about it. Like, we got to, of course, speak of the DMs because I don't want to spoil it for our non-manga readers, but I would love to hear your thoughts on that, Don Cree, because I love that manga. Right now, we have had some great back and forth with my casters about some of the significance of why Emu attacked the island that Emu took, and I think, yeah, we're past that point. We've already seen it, at least in the anime, so I can talk about it. But no, it's anime friendly. Okay, if it's anime friendly, let's see it. All right, if it's anime friendly, 100%, we're good to go. I'd love to hear your theory on it, Donkry. And Sai, by the way, we've got enough in here. Smile Hoodie, good to see you. We have enough people in here that you no longer have a 100% chance of winning this potential alt art that's in this pack here. All right, while we wait for Donkry to fill out that that theory he has there, are you familiar with the Oda said about the eye patch pirates? That once he introduced the eye patch pirates, he was going to kind of like ode it to the ending of the One Piece. It's just like what he said when Shanks sees more content, if he gets some more regular turn and not just like a cutaway, that we're getting close to the One Piece, right? Pirate and singular. So I do know that he did specifically talk about them introducing the real pirate, but he wanted to save that for the end. But I can't remember specifically. Can you remind me? Optimus Prime, welcome back. Good to see you. And thank you so much for joining. I think it's a Joy Boy will let you know why. I think it is Joy Boy? Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so you think Joy Boy can be hurt in cartoon mode. That's interesting. All right. Let me know. Let me know why. I'm curious. You like cartoon mode Luffy is a little OP. I'm kind of interested to see how you think he's going to become the One Eye. And I thought Shanks for the longest time was just going to wear a patch. Let's see. Yes, when he appeared, the story was going to be close to the end. Yes, yes. There was a lot of talk about that. Optimus says, I've been working so much I haven't been able to pop in. Optimus, it's okay. I know, this is what I'm talking about. If you guys would have heard just like 15 minutes ago, I was just going to my stupid diatribe about how I need to get this product to you in a convenient way so you can watch it at your leisure. And I'm going to be working after this, making some videos from this and trying to make some YouTube content, taking this content and just showcasing the gameplay and putting that out there to YouTube for you all. Yeah, I always appreciate being able to talk to you guys. I love being able to discuss with you. But I want to get these gameplays and matches out there so you guys can see it at your leisure. So you guys can enjoy that and then watch it, whenever you're available to. But I don't have an editor. I am very bad at it. It's going to be like watching a football tonight as you see me playing with the tools and trying to say, cut here. It's going to be bad. It's probably going to be the most horrible thing you get. But you got to start off bad, I guess, before you can get good. T-shirt cannon, best delivery method. Can you imagine? Like, get the YouTube video on T-shirt cannon. Get your YouTube video here. But oh man, guys, we got some really cool stuff I want to cover. Ooh, Donkry's got it here. So Zoan fruits have a will on their own. Yes, they do. Meaning, it had to be a certain way for the fruit to choose you. And Luffy tried to take his eye out. That's true. To go in with Shanks so he could prove that he was man enough. What if Joy Boy did the same but did not miss the eye? I like the kind of like history kind of like repeating itself here. I'm trying to think up like where you would think that would line up in the story. Like, does he get called a chicken by Emu or something? And then he takes it to heart and he's like, no. I'll show you how much of a like I could definitely see something where Emu's about to like maybe Domi reverse on him and he's like the eye gets taken out and he's like, nah, that doesn't work on me. And then his eye does get taken because it's Emu, and then maybe that's where the patch comes in, where like just realize I'm starting to say some stupid stuff. All right, pay no attention to me, you your anime. You have no idea what I'm talking about, so I can't spoil anything. You know, your Straw Hat Emu has stored as giant, and giants are based on the Viking mythology. Absolutely. Stop. We haven't seen that in the movie anime. So, okay, I'm gonna stop. I am gonna stop. So, we have seen the Emu attacks with spears. So, we'll just say that. I'm not gonna explain what Domi Reversi is. Whatever that is, you'll find out when you get to see it. I'm not gonna, like, there's no reason for you to if you manga readers understand what it is, but you anime watchers, you'll get it. Just know it's like Roger's divine departure. Okay, it's a move the Emu could do, and we've already seen the Emu can stab things with those arrows. So I haven't spoiled anything too much yet. Just the term. It's the mole. Good to see it. But Donkey, what are you saying here? So Odin took his eye for the ultimate knowledge. Yeah, that's part of the lore too for actual Viking lore here. It could be the same in the most important thing in One Piece is freedom. Possibly, maybe he's willing to give it up to Emu at some point, No, this is all theory crafting. Maybe we all know the emu's the big bad. That's not a spoiler for anybody. All Might, good to see you in the chat. Thank you. But we had I can see that happening. Like it just the showdown there and bringing the patch. That's a good theory, Doncree. That's a really good theory. I'm hoping to clip this later, and I want to save it so when we get to that point, we can go back to it and be like, Doncree called it. Doncree called it. Yeah. It does make a lot of sense. It does. I just think I'd love to see how he's going to draft it up to where Luffy's willing to take the eye, especially in his cartoon mode. Like, he's untouchable. Pretty sure the big bad is Buggy. Yeah, I mean, he is a bad within the series, so I'll give you that little pound cake. And we'll see. There's a lot of theories that Buggy's going to be the pirate the pirate king after everything's said and done. Just like, you know, stumbling across it, of course. I'd like to see that. I probably will see it, to be honest with you. All right, we're gonna get into some quick stuff with Lifelink games. I want to showcase to you, Doncree, and the rest. But we got some really fun stuff coming up. Don't forget to hit ! Join for your chance to win one of these 2 packs. One of them has an alt. I don't know what alt. I can't wait to find out what it is. It's either today or Thursday. We're gonna be giving away the alt of this box. Before we get into the next box of PRB2, next week is gonna be awesome. I cannot wait to open this with you guys. After all we have seen, Buggy could very well be the strongest of all. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, Doncree. With enough blanket, I don't see how anyone larger. Yeah, right? All right, let's check out some up-and-coming events at Lifelink Games. Yes, this is One Piece, but this is also Humbro Pie, and Humbro Pie covers all types of TCGs where we can make them successful. If you have a community and you want to bring it out here, we have a very strong community of Riftbound players and wanting to get into this. Those who don't know, Riftbound does have some pre-sales here. I want to see if we can shop for some Riftbound cards and see if they're still available. But I want to show you guys what it is to be Lifelink Games. So we got the release event at $30, and he doesn't have the boxes up here yet, but I will tell you that we have them at $120 per box. So if you look at the Riftbound market, this is the current going rate for the pre-sale. This is actually kind of down too if you look at it, because it went as high as $300 for some of these pre-sales. But Lifelink Games, LifelinkGames.com, is going to be selling these things at cost. We got a substantial amount allocated to us, so we do have enough for all of our player bases. A lot of people have already been buying cases from us because we had so much given to us, and we have a lot of people that are interested in this card game. But this is just one example of many examples where you're going to get these boxes at cost. Of course, this weekend we do have a really special event with the One Piece OP13 as well. This is the release weekend for OP13 that everyone's looking forward to. Let's see if I can find this on the website. Got to run, brother, but I'll be back here in a bunch. Blessings to you all. Thank you, Doncree. Appreciate you. That transition was fire. Thanks, Doncree. Appreciate it. But yes, we have the booster box displays. Let's see. 130 for a sealed box event. This is for the tournament and a box, by the way. I'm curious if the OP13 box prices are out there. See if we're even beating it with the event cost and box. What is that name of that set? Let's see. Rainbow Luffy booster box. Sealed box. Can anybody remind me the name of the series that OP13 is going to be called? Let's see. PRB. Carry on his will. Let's see. Yep. Just a perfect example of exactly why I love Lifelink Games, because we make sure that we get these things at cost. This guy's selling 110 of these at $169 for an event and a booster box. You can spend $130, or you can start buying them now. Now we do have a max 4 items per order for these things, because we don't want to sell out, because we know that a lot of people are going to be chasing it. But this is $120 for your booster box. So if you're out there, go ahead and grab your stuff right now to get one of these booster boxes at your leisure. The bigger we grow as a company and the bigger we grow as a channel, the more of this allocation will be allotted to us, and we'll be able to make this wider and wider spread to ensure more people out there have access to the product at the price that it should be. Is it all about us at Lifelink Games? We're about making sure the product is in the hands of the players. And that's what we're about. This weekend, we got a great stuff coming up here. Release event on the 1st. OP13 on the release event is on the 1st. Obviously, the 31st, which was where we normally hold it, is going to be a Halloween special. So you guys want to get some really cool costumes, come out dressed up, have some really cool fun gameplay. We got a lot of cool fun stuff planned for One Piece, for Magic the Gathering, and for Gundam. So if you guys want to check out those games, please check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to be going live with Gundam, of course, this Friday, as we always do. Got some packs to give away, too. Got some sealed away just for you. So if you want to get your chance on GDO 2, I do have a couple free packs to give away. And, of course, we have, let's see, we just closed Season 5 with today's video. We got Modern on Wednesdays, of course, the Commander Nights. But I want to see if we had anything special outside. Oh, also, this Saturday, we have our Magic One Piece Championship qualifier. This is the last one of the season. For the season, the next one is, again, going to be standard. So, not a whole lot of changes between these two, but this is going to be your last chance to get some of these really neat promos, get your top 8 pins, and get qualified for the Standard Regional Championship qualifier to get yourself your ticket to the next level to the Pro Tour. Of course, we have the OP13 release. Super excited for this. And a sealed box tourney on this Sunday that we will be going live with, opening box and playing head-to-head. Super looking forward to this. It's going to be a fun day where we open up an entire box and play a deck from that at 50 cards from the box. A lot of fun. We've done this already twice, and it has been an absolute banger. We get to trade our cards afterwards. We get to get all the cards we're looking for. People are building their decks to make sure that they're ready to have their Emu decks, have their Roger decks, have their red blue ace decks ready to go for the new format. Even the koala getting built there. So we got some people chasing after some stuff, and we're going to be making sure you can get your access to it. 39 Real Ocean Man says, whoa, I can't wait. Absolutely. It is 100% 39 Reals, dude. It is the best, bro. I have had so much fun just cracking packs. Everyone's cracking them. Someone's gonna likely pull a manga because it happens all the time. You get everyone super excited about the massive hits that they get and all the fun, and then you put together a 50 card deck and you just play with those cards. And a lot of people build the same decks because of, you know, the way it works, but still, it's a lot of fun to see what people get and what they're willing to play. We played Zoro heavy last time, but just because you got Zoro didn't mean you just won. There's a lot of things that came in the factor with it, and it's an absolute just blast. Because as soon as the thing was done, everyone was trading, everyone was giving away cards and helping out each other. It was a blast. Seriously, join us for these, and if your locals isn't doing this, tell them to. This is a great time. Hopefully they'll be giving you the prices that we give you guys, because we try our best to make sure the product gets in your hand. But yeah, just an idea of like what we're doing. 120 at Lifelink Games versus the online market at 170. And this is probably the lowest you're going to be able to find an online market on TCG Player, from what I understand. Yep. It is right down to the lowest you're going to be able to find for all these people selling these boxes. Now, I did promise we were going to go over a few things about the mangas. Of course, Trafalgar Law is the prize for our One Piece champion. This thing was around $200-300, is now around $469. And I gotta say, that's actually pretty decent of a market price here. But I want to see, and I've been checking a lot of these things. Have we had any sales? Okay, we have some sales. We've had some sales this month. Okay, so it's been around there since the price hike. Let me look at the Monkey D. Luffy manga, because I've seen some of these things just astronomically priced and they're not selling. 1650. See this look at the sales chart here. This is the going price, 1650. More content. We're seeing some sales. Interesting. We're seeing some sales. I got a theory about this. There could be people that are speculating on this, that they might see this. I do have a theory, though. One of the things we were talking about before was how they were going in a massive buyout. There's only 4 left to buy here. Everything at 2,000 was just about bought out, except for these two. I'm willing to bet you, I have no evidence, I have no proof, this is all speculation. Foil hat time, guys. Have you seen the new cards that have been released or announced? Or you haven't gone over those yet, Ocean Man. But I have a theory about what's happening here. So those who don't know me, I've worked for the government for a number of my years. I've done a lot of things going after terrorists and deploying. I spent 8 years of my life overseas trying to bring peace and trying to help out those people I possibly could, and trying to keep the peace in the Middle East, if you will. And through that process, you run across a lot of like nefarious activities. Of course, drug traffickers, sex traffickers, that's where I specialize, but also money traffickers. And when you want to get people, you follow the money. And one of the things that we used to see quite a bit was market manipulation for certain things to get people in the behavior of wanting to buy the card at the price that you're trying to set it at. And to me, pure speculation, tin hat, it's okay. You don't have to believe me. Take it a grain of salt if you want to. These buyouts to me seem a little too high. Too consistent on the price back and forth. 1949.99, 1949.99, 1949.99. It's changing hands. So the money is going back and forth between the people. That might be just two people trading $2,000 in their account to each, selling the card, buying the card, getting the sales up here for the card to justify the price, because these things were bought at like the market price, where you guys remember it said 941. The market price was really settled to say this is just under $1,000 in value. Now it's up here at this ridiculous 19 marker, and all the sales seem to be at that very same price tag that we're seeing there. Now, again, this is pure speculation. With all those sales for 1964, it really surprises me that this one at 1650 is still sitting on the shelf. Really surprises me. What also gets me is that it's how long has this been up there? I wish there was a way we could check out to see how long that's been on there. But with all those sales at 19, really makes me think that there's people manipulating the market by trading sales to make the value appear to be as accurate as it displays on here. Before, when I was looking at this a month ago, maybe a little bit less than that, I was noticing no one was buying the card at the set price. There was only like 4 available in the market. They were selling for $2,000. No one was buying it. The last sale was something like half that price, if not even less, and no one was buying it. Now suddenly, after those 7 weeks, I now have several of these payments with an almost a short week payment plan of these things going for roughly the same price. I think, personally, these are people trading the money to try and set that price. They're trying hard to set that price because no one's willing to pay that actual money for it. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, the PSA 10 at 2200, check this out. The PSA 10 EBO2 at 2200, this one actually makes sense to me. This is a good price. You're getting a PSA 10. These are beautiful, beautiful cards with a perfection on it. Like this, I can see. You got it graded. You paid that stupid premium that PSA likes to shove against you as if they're entitled to the money and the value of the card that you pulled. Whatever. It is what it is. But you got yourself a nice little PSA 10. This I can see going up to that high. The rest of these, no. No. I'm more willing to bet, based on the amount of purchases and regular sales we got from regular different buyers, that's at 900, which is why we're saying market price at TCG says 941. However, these sales keep pushing the 19s. So, still under the hard belief that this is market manipulation from those crypto bros buying out 4, 5, like maybe a couple of these, and this is probably the one that's actually buying them out, so he can keep his at 7,500 and see if someone will actually pay that. But I don't think anyone's actually willing to pay that kind of money for these. They're good cards, don't get me wrong. Just don't think that they're actually worth that much. That is a mortgage payment and a half for most people. In the city, it's a month's rent in a city suite. Or more than that, actually. A 1-bedroom. No, that would be less than, just a little bit less than a 1-bedroom, 1 sink. The bedroom's in with the sink type city bedroom. I think so, for rent for a month right there. You have like 200 square feet to yourself. So, but that seems a little bit high, personally, and that's just my take on it. That I truly don't believe these values are right, especially when the market price hasn't even fixed itself with several of these sales that remarkably look identical. And that only really happens when I buy from you, you post it, I buy from you, you post it, I buy from you, you post it. So the money's just going between two different people. Of course, they're not going to tell us who actually bought and sold them, but it does look like a little fishy between this to try and they're really trying hard to set the price value here. So all the ones that they bought at this price go for this price. That's just my take. Take it or leave it. All right, so I think we got over everything. Guys, we have a really fun day ahead of us. We've got some really cool rules. I'm going to go over them when we get started. I'm going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to go through 3 rounds of this Halloween special. Don't forget to tell your friends, hit exclamation point join the stream for the chance to win one of the alt arts that's in one of these 4 packs. Could be tonight, could be Thursday. We'll find out tonight at the end of the stream who's walking away with an alt from our last bit of OP12 for the community box. But until then, I hope to see all of you this weekend at this massive release window. It is going to be absolutely huge. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and we're back again for this Halloween special. Obviously, Halloween's not till Friday, so what are we doing? We're doing this when we can, because this weekend we are absolutely swamped with releases. We have Riftbound, we have the OP13, we've got the Star Wars special, we have the Standard Showdown, last one of the season for MTG. We also have the release of what we're doing, Kaiju number 8 for Union Arena. On that day, we just got done with Yu Hakusho last weekend. A lot of fun. If you guys want to watch that VOD on this channel, go ahead and check it out. I'm going to be trying to cut that up into YouTube little mixes here to help out with the YouTube channel as we start to grow. Obviously, going to be me editing, so it's going to be absolute crap, but it's going to be something, so you guys can watch it at your own leisure. We are going to go into the first round of this tournament. And in this tournament, we had very, very special rules. Something that was created from the brainchild of Chris from Lifelink. Something that was absolutely diabolical and fun. Absolutely the best time I have had playing a One Piece tournament in a very long time. As you guys know, I'm not usually playing because in the championship series, I don't want to be a member or part of this thing. I don't want to really take up the points. I don't want to take away from people. This is their thing. I do the little coverage. I do the talking over top of it. And during the actual tournament, I spent a lot of time organizing it, getting the food, getting everything ready, and making sure that there's a judge call, and making sure that there's the things are being recorded properly, and all the information is being recorded properly. On top of that, I also get the deck lists a couple days before. So given that I do get the deck list of these players, I don't want to have an advanced knowledge or any kind of advantage, if you will, going to these things. So I want to keep it as pure as possible as a tournament organizer and keep myself separate from it. And most of the stuff I'm giving away is out of my own pocket, so it doesn't make sense for me to collect it, now does it? That's stuff for you. This is stuff I give back to the community. That's what it's all about. So, speaking of deck lists, the deck list you're going to see today, the only real deck list you're going to see today is mine. Everybody else's deck list, we're trying something new. They were trying to see if they could get some practice in before this championship series. So they specifically asked me not to share their deck list. The deck list you're going to see are mock-ups of their leader and what to expect. So we're going to go over that. But know that none of these lists are actually accurate except for mine. My list is as accurate as you're going to get because I own it and I'm not in the championship series. But these other three individuals that you're going to see today are in the championship series. So without further ado, let us get into the rules to which we'll be playing by today in the Halloween special. So through the brainchild that was Chris from Lifelink Games, he decided to come up with an idea of a die roll type of rules enforcement type of policy here. If every round he would roll a dice, one 6-sided, and from there, these stipulations would be in effect for the entirety of the game. It is going to still be best of one, and it's going to be on camera. If he rolls a 1, you are risen from the dead. If you are KO'd to 0 life, you are resurrected and brought back to life. This triggers only 1 time per game. So on a roll of 1, if you die and you get knocked down to 0 life, you get to heal 1 life. If he rolls a 2, ghostly silence, you get event cards cost +1 to play through that round. That means every single event in your deck is going to be costing 1 additional. That means for Rayleigh decks, good luck, because all your 0 costs now cost 1 on top of the additional costs you might have to pay into it. So it's going to be really interesting if it rolls a 2. Roll 3, Fog of the Dead. Each player receives 1 Fog of the Dead to use each game at a time and at their choosing. This ability negates 1 successful attack. So essentially, it's a blocker for free that you get to use during the game just once to negate 1 attack. It's really good. It's a really fun idea. Just use a token, cash it in, and we might see that today. If he rolls a 4, Cursed Weakness. Characters with 7,000 power lose 1,000 when attacking. This includes Attached Dawn or any other modifiers used to get the 7,000. So the minute you get to 7,000, you're at 6. And everything from there will just get you back up to 7 and over. So note, if he rolls a 4, the math is going to get a little more trickier. In 5, Trick or Treat. Each player draws an additional card each turn. So essentially, every deck gets to be blue-purple Luffy. And finally, number 6, Soul Drain. At the start of each turn, each player must discard the top card of their deck before they draw. That means you take the card off the top of your deck. If that was a card you're looking for, tough luck, bud. You get the card right behind it. And if you're not playing a graveyard deck, which is not actually kind of common in this format right now, it's really going to be soul draining to lose some of the key cards you might have in your deck. First up, we've got Smoker versus Lim. And from that, he rolled a 3. Each player will receive a fog token and to use to negate one successful attack. When we get to the game, I'll point out those tokens and show you how they're going to be represented. But both Lim and I, or Cam Sharp and I, are going to be playing with this rule enforced, meaning one of those attacks can be negated at the use of our fog token. Without further ado, let's get into the deck list that we'll be covering for this first round match. Once I find the right window. I know what I'm doing. All right, starting off with my deck, the green-red Smoker. Back and getting so much support in all these sets. Little intricacies here. We have a new Perona Searcher, which is helping out because one of the biggest things lacking, I think, from this red-green Smoker is the limited amount of searchers you had available. Some people running a Straw Hat package to try and get Nami in here, but it really just... It kind of forced you into a very narrow gameplay. We wanted to get something that was more Punk Hazard-esque searching because this ability is a very big and strong ability in a Punk Hazard type deck. First off, on all your Navy Punk Hazard type characters gain plus 1,000 on your opponent's turn. So Tony Chopper that gets a +2 on your opponent's turn is a 7k blocker if it has the Punk Hazard capability. Also activate main once per turn if you have a character of 7,000 power or more. Set up to 2 of your Dawn cards as active. So had he gotten the 7,000 powers as 6,000, I would have had to actually add a Dawn to the character to get this power to be active. Because anything at 7 would have been -1, but we got the fog token. So just essentially think that as soon as I get to a 7,000 power, I can constantly keep restanding 2. Combos very well with what is arguably the staple in this deck, and a reason why Perona has been added to the deck, because Smoker is so essential to this deck. Most people realize that if you don't get Smoker when you need to and can't get it on curve, the deck kind of fumbles. It is a good card, but it also allows you to restand 1, but that prevents any more restanding after that. This comboed with the Smoker, you essentially get 3 additional Dawn, and with some of the other combos in this deck, where I play the new Dracula Mihawk, which is also Slash, I get to set up to 4 of my Dawn cards as active when I play it. So with that, that's a 7 additional just on the 8 Dawn turn. So on 8 Dawn, I'm playing 15 Dawn worth of cards. Gives me capability of playing some of these nice little events here with the Demon Sword 9 styles, which is Hody Jones on a stick, along with the 10-layer Igloo, which is arguably one of the best counters you can get, being 2 costs here. It negates or gives plus 3,000 to your leader or character that you're trying to protect, and give up to one of your opponent's leader or characters -2,000. So it can be in conjunction used for a 5,000 plus counter, or can negate in a separate attack if you just want to counter out 3,000 for one attack and reduce the power of another. So sometimes this can be a nice little 2-for-1. Very powerful card that really and is searchable within the Virgo. We have our Goldie Roger here, Ben Beckman. Of course, we have the new Secret Lair Bonnie here that has some good situation here. There's a lot of times when you will have 8 Rested Dawn, so it's really good. You can get your $2 draw 2, discard 1 ability if you have 8 rested cards or more. Doesn't have to be Dawn, but that's usually how people look at it. Carrot, arguably one of the stronger characters in this deck, has an on-play and when attacking to prevent one of your characters from being able to restand during the refresh phase. Will I ever go back to Smoker? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm always going to be playing my red decks. Ocean Man, I'm always going to be playing them. The Dragon is still put together. Tony Chopper is still put together. I have Zuro still put together. Kobe still put together. And I will be, of course, moving into Roger and OP13. So, I mean, I don't take these decks apart. I update them, if anything else. And I like to get as many of the alts as I possibly can. This is personally one of my absolute favorite of the red-green combos, personally. And I will keep playing this as I keep getting cards. And I know that we likely will come back to Punk Hazard at some point. And this deck is going to be absolutely OP when it happens. Next, we're going up against Cam Sharp's Lim deck. Again, this is not Cam Sharp's deck list. Pay special attention to this. This is just a list that plays a lot like Lim. These people are planning on playing something similar or these decks during the actual championship and did not want to give away their spice. So I'm not going to have the ability to showcase what is actually being played by them, just the general concept. We have another 4-life leader here. Your characters get played rested. Can be a downside, but we're going to see that the rested ability really helps activate a lot of the other cards that happen to be in this Odyssey themed deck here. Once per turn, you may rest 3 of your Dawn cards, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck to your and rest it, and play one Odyssey type character card with a cost of 5 or less from hand. So nice little ramp and free play per turn. It will be coming into to play rested, so it means it will be vulnerable for a little bit. But a lot of these things have great on plays when you're coming in rested. Port Cost Ace on play if you have 2 or more rested characters. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters, cost 5 or less. Gets run a nice little blocker. So given you can play this, all you need is some other character rested. You have this Doflamingo blocker here. At the end step, it gets to, if you have 2 or more rested characters, restand this character is active. So nice little attack and restand for the blocker type here. Ever Newgate with an on-play if you have 2 or more rested characters, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost 5 or less. Then KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost 3 or less. So nice little getting rid of those cheap blockers that we seem to be observing a lot of in this format. This one's on play is from Enel. If you have 2 or more rested characters, draw 3 cards and trash 2 cards from your hand. See, now Enel is, or I'm sorry, this limb ability is actually being abused by the fact that these all come into play rested. So in reality, you only need 1 card rested. This one from Mihawk, if you have 2 or more rested characters, set up to one of your rested Odyssey type characters, so the cost of 5 or less is active. So basically being able to restand or even potentially re-attack with several of these. We have, of course, the 3-attack Zoro that's been turned into a leader here. Amazing finisher if you can get it to stand. And of course the cards that are going to help you, 1, search, block to protect yourself if you can, and of course play the limb that has the ability to restand itself. This is one of the cards you're going to see used a lot. It'll attack for 0, do nothing because nothing happens to an attacking character, and be able to restand or set something else up from the Odyssey type, and ensure that you're constantly on curve, making sure that you always have 2 rested every time you play a character. It would negate the leader ability. Would you play with the new Roger in this? It would negate the, well, I mean, it would negate it for a turn, but I do think the new Roger is kind of neat. The new 10 cost purple one is what he's talking about. I think it has some situations. Obviously the red's gonna be where I focused heavier on the side of that deck, but I'll be ramping like crazy, and I do think at least 1 copy of that 10 cost Roger is actually worth it. Thought it was static? No, you remove 3 Dawn. Which Roger are we talking about here? Are they calling him Gold Roger? Alright, so if you're your leader and all your characters that do not have the type Roger Pirates have their effects negated. So, and it's just basically negating it. But on play, Dawn -3, your leader gains plus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next phase. Then give all your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So, your leader and all of your characters that do not have the type, including Roger Pirates, have their effects negated. So that's static, but my Roger deck is going to be Roger Pirates. So it really isn't going to have an effect. The Dawn ×3, which is kind of nice because it does keep my leader at plus 2k, means that my leader negate ability that I'll have, because according to the way that the rules work here, if I have any Dawn cards on my field, 1 Dawn is placed under this character during the Dawn phase, and it's just given immediately to him. If you have 9 or less Dawn cards in your field, give this character minus 2,000 power. So essentially, up until my 10th Dawn turn, as long as I'm adding Dawn to my Dawn deck, I essentially have to give 1 immediately to Roger, and he's going to be 5,000 power, or 6,000 on the swing. But I have to allocate 1 Dawn every single turn to this Roger before I get to 10 Dawn, and then after 10 Dawn, he becomes a static 7k power. When I'm talking about turning it off, I'm saying that essentially at the -3 turn, you're going to lose that 2k ability, because when you gain some next turn, you're going to have to allocate 1 of those Dawn to the leader. Of course, if you don't have the other card out there that prevents the Roger Pirates or this leader abilities from activating. I think it's Rayleigh that prevents it from being required to place it underneath him. But it is pretty nice. I mean, all of my opponent's characters minus 2,000 power. Nice little cleanup, 13k power body, and puts my lead, ensures it keeps my leader actually at 9k at the time I play it. So, gonna be super effective. 9k leader for the turn seems super gross. That is the one you're talking about, right? Not this one? This is that promo we're gonna get in December. If either you or your opponent has 10 Dawn cards on the field, your leader gains plus 2,000 power until end of turn, your opponent's next end phase. So yeah, basically giving me and on play 9,000. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it will the turn after mean that my Roger's going to be put back at 5,000 for the turn after he's a 9K, unless I have some way of getting that Dawn back. I'd have to get all three because it is Dawn -3, and it is non-play. But the first half is static, but your leader and all of your characters do not have, they include Roger Pirates, have their defense negated. I'm playing a Roger's Pirates deck, so I'm not too concerned about this turning off my my abilities. I think there's enough in the new set that I can just play Roger Pirates. Not to mention the Rayleigh, super good for the Secret Rare and the Secret Rare Roger. All right, those are the deck lists. Here is the gameplay. Round one, remember, both Cam Sharp and I have what is essentially a fog token. These 201 Gundam tokens are our fog tokens. So as long as they're staying face up, we have yet to use one of our fog tokens to negate one of the player's attacks. Cam Sharp's going to start off with a perfect start, rested limb that restands itself. Now his engine is online, so it means every single turn he can attack with his limb. Doesn't do anything, but he can attack with it and keep it rested, so all the rest of them are viable. Going to start off with our first Perona search, looking for slash type or green event. Off the top here, likely going to find the Mihawk, which is, I'm either looking for Mihawk or Smoker to make this thing work. But looking from what I can see from here, I believe the Mihawk is the only viable target that I'm actually able to pull from this. But nope, the Gold D Roger off the top here. Also slash, the 10 cost, the one we were just talking about. One that's already been printed. That is not the gold version, that is just the alt art. It's not worth, what is it, like $1,300 or something like that? It was actually pulled on this channel during a box opening, and everyone's freaking out and thought I got the gold version of it because it looks very, very similar, but it is not the same case. I like it. All right, here comes Lim in for an attack, doing absolutely nothing, but resting a character. This way, Cam Sharp can activate the ability if he wanted to, but no, we're going to go for a rested Nami search. Or sorry, a rested Nami freeze. Once this character enters play, the on-play effects is one of my Dawn cards cannot be restand as active next turn, meaning that I don't have a 4 Dawn turn, I have a 3 Dawn turn next. 6 into life, asking for 2. I'm going to take. No trigger. And of course, using Lim's ability to restand will keep his key piece protected. Restanding Nami, not the optimal choice here. You want to keep that Lim available because obviously I would have attacked with Perona into that Lim just to get his engine offline. So protecting the right piece and a good call here. I'm checking this to see if there's any other viable reason to leave this around, or maybe I should use my Perona attack to get rid of it. It really just has a nice little on play in a 2K. Here comes 5. Going to life. Cam Shark going to take. 3 to 3. Loading up 3 underneath the Perona because one of them's froze by the last play. Get to 1K out of hand and turn back to Cam Sharp. This will be the 5 Dawn turn for Cam Sharp. Perfect time to play any of his characters. Attack with Lim, of course. Also has the capability of attaching 2 to try and attack the Perona, if he so cares. And then he can also use the 3 Dawn to activate the Lim ability, which will play a character of 5 costs or less for free and ramp 1. See if that's what Cam Sharp is so inclined to do. Last turn he took it off just so he could potentially freeze one of my my Dawn cards. Here comes an attack for Lim. Nope, gonna load the 2 underneath Nami, guaranteeing the KO, so I'm not gonna protect it. Although personally, I would have, if I was gonna do that, I would have loaded up 2 for 2 different attacks. But here comes the Aang on play here. Here comes 5 into life. Give him a 1 for the Virgo. He's gonna restand the Lim, passing back, leave me a 6. So hopefully I have myself a nice little smoker because I need that 5 cost smoker on curve here. Make sure I can get myself back in this game. 3-3, I'm facing down an Ayn, Nami, Lim. Lim's really just an engine. Paying 5, so likely is going to be a smoker. On curve. No, it's a carrot. Carrot's going to freeze the Ayn. One of the things that Carrot likes to do is abuse this deck, really. because everything does come into play rested, so it's almost always going to have a target. I'm going to give 1 Dawn to the carrot to make sure that I have a 7 power character. That way I can activate leader ability, getting 2 free open, and that way I can swing 7 versus 6. Carrot is OP, right? Even outside of this matchup, she really is. Carrot is such a great card. It's one of the cards I feel like people are really sleeping on. I'm glad I got my alts for Carrot. In most decks, being able to freeze on attack, just making itself a target, it has a red, a red target on its back because people want to get rid of this thing. So you got a pseudo blocker on top of something that's just an absolute menace to most board states. Because Cam now only able to attack with lead and with Nami. No rush coming from this since everything comes into play rested. And it does have counter for 1. 1k counter. Lim going to attack in the leader. No effect, but gets the rested ability. I think this one really got to have it, considering the Ein is not going to be able to restand itself. Okay, I'm looking to potentially ramp here. And play out a character. Or just play out some characters. We'll see what he's got. Thanks for the slobber, girl. Appreciate you. I love Newfoundlanders. Always so slobbery. All right, gonna use the effect here to ramp out one out here. Here comes Edward Newgate. This one's the on play that allows it to pop a rest at level 5 or layer, but pop a 3 cost or less. No 3 cost to say of, so nothing to pop, but does now make my carrot vulnerable to attack. And giving Cam Sharp an opportunity to use 5 of those Dawn to potentially attach to leader or Nami. Try and get 2 swings in if he so chooses. Could go 6 and 6 to try to get 2 cards on a hand if he wanted to. If I really want to save that carrot, might be one of the best options here. Going 4 on the carrot here. So it should be a 9. And I give him the 10. Oh, sorry, 8. Give him the 9. It's just 3 Dawn. So knowing that he only has 2 left, 4k not going to be enough to swing into carrot. Here comes a Nami. He's going to freeze one of my my Dawn yet again. It's not going to the 8 Dawn turn, but technically 7 because of that freeze. So Cam Shark being very weary that it is the turn that I normally could play my Mihawk if I had it, or if I have it, but no longer can because I'm at 7. This would be a good turn for me to get out of Smoker if I got it. Restand the limb because he forgot the trigger, but it's not that serious, guys. We're gonna let him redo it. Here comes 5. Likely a Smoker here. Should put most of my cards back online. Here it is. First Smoker. Now I have the capability of restanding 3 every turn. However, I can't restand it anymore after I use the Smoker ability. Putting myself back at 5. Potentially put out a character or get 3 big attacks on. Definitely want to start cleaning up some of these boards here. His board's getting a little crazy here. Loading up 2 for a nice little 8k into the 5k while freezing the Edward Newgate. Asking for 2 cards for Cam Sharp to defend that. Gets it. Now still have 3 left. Look like I might have a defensive event in hand, but nope, going all 8. Asking for 2 more cards from Cam Sharp to get rid of this eyeing. And that's going to do it. That'll clean that up, at least guaranteeing the carrot freezes the Newgate. I wish I would have had a blocker here to protect the carrot, but not a lot of great attackers from Cam Sharp's side. Sermon, welcome to the chat. Welcome back. And putting you on the wheel, brother. We might be giving an alt art tonight. I'm super excited. We know there's 1 alt left in the box. 4 packs left. One of these 4 has the alt. 1 secret rare bounty has been given away, and the alt art Rayleigh Leader has been given away from this box. And of course, after this week, next week, we'll finally be getting ourselves into the PRB Volume 2. Completely sealed, ready to go. Community box. I can't remember anyone pulling a manga. Maybe I'm wrong. But I know that the God Pack was not pulled. So potential. That'd be amazing to pull a God Pack and give that away. All right, 5 into life. This one's going to be a take. Cam Sharp with a little knowledge that it's odd that I would just take the 5. Maybe I want a card, but also could mean I'm fully bricked up. Here comes Dracula Mihawk. This one's a draw 2, draw 3, discard 2? Or the restand. Sorry, that's the restand Dracula Mihawk. So here comes another 5. They're baiting on giving it up. I don't. All right, gonna take. No counter. Tazzy says, I love him. She just needs a little more support to make her the beast. I know, Tazzy, right? I think if they had a little more searchers for the limb, this deck could be absolutely insane. But here comes a nice little 7K. You're going to see me use the token. That's my fog has been played. The negated attack. Camshark knows I'm probably bricked up, but a nice little 7K swing is enough to activate my only fog token. But Dracula Mihawk at the end step's going to restand itself. And now I know that I've given him full knowledge that I do not have much counter in hand. I'm pretty much bricked up. The 2 5K swings were a pretty good indicator from Cam Sharp that if I'm not willing to throw away a 1K, when am I hiding? And I can't possibly play all the cards in my hand, so it's a good indicator that he knows that I'm definitely low on counter, especially having to use my fog token so early. Those new to that just came in, we are playing the holiday special. There are rules in place for this game, specifically for this game. The rule was each of us get a fog token, so each of us can negate 1 attack per game. And that's what those little Gundam tokens right there representing. All right, here we go. Dracula Mihawk on play, restand 4. Leader ability can restand 2. Smoker can restand 1. Means I got 7 Dawn right back from this board. Goes 2. Right back at 9 Dawn. That means I'm going to have a total of 17 Dawn for this turn. And hopefully able to establish myself with a decent board state. Now, Dracula Mihawk does prevent me from playing anything 7 cost or higher. So that means the Hody Jones, the some of the other cards that I could be playing here, not viable. I'm going to start off with a Perona. Get a search for a slash, see if I can find a good target. Or even a green event. Nice little green event. Resting 2 characters could give me some ability to clean up the board state here. Because he is at 2 life. And right at the moment, I've only got 3 attacks. Meaning all 3 would have to hit for me to end the game this turn. And he's got a fog token left. So lethal, not an option this turn. 8 Dawn left. I cannot play any character 7 cost or higher. Using 2, we're gonna looks like we're using 3. Looks like we're gonna attack for 9 with this carrot, keeping one of these characters frozen. Debating on the math here. 10, guaranteeing the math here. Trying to at least. Redoing math in my head because of course I got to work out every single attack strategy here. I want to climb the ladder as best I possibly can. Taking 2. Nope, just going for a 6. Well, 5 into the Nami, clean it up. Climb the ladder. As I usually tell people in sequencing, you always want to climb the ladder. Looks like I didn't get the green event to rest anything here. But we're going to have 9 go into the Edward life and freeze the Edward Newgate. Now we're going to come in with a potential banish here. Banish for 9. First one landed with a second one. I think optimally here, I think he's going to use the fog for the banish. Makes sense. Both players have used their fog now. 1 and 1, the life. Lim with Mihawk. Lim and Nami. Me with a blocker and 2 open. Currently telecasting, I may have 2 1-cost event defense or the Igloo, which could potentially negate 2 attacks if the attack order is appropriate. We'll see how Camshark plays this out. Separating into 2 piles, looking like he wants to get 2 big attacks in. Knows that I only have a blocker. Would likely want to get 3 attacks in here. Make sure all land. He knows I'm weak on counter. But here comes a big swing here. It's at a total of 7. from the Mihawk, asking him how much he has left. 7 left. This would be a perfect counter. Or I can free block if I want to with the other Mihawk. This one's going to be a take. Want to save that blocker potentially and maybe even protect it if possible here, but definitely bricked up here. Comes 3. Doflamingo, the play, a blocker that restands itself at the end phase. Looks like he has 3/4 Dawn left here for a 9k swing if he wants to. Could also go 5 and 6 with Leader and Nami. One of those attacks definitely going to be countered by the Dracula Mihawk. And those that might have seen my trigger, it was a 2020 chopper, so 2k finally in hand, so I can easily negate out of a 6k swing. We'll see how Cam Sharp wants to separate this out. Does he go 2 attacks or 1? 9 gets over the Dracula Mihawk. Tapping 2 to replace the Nami, to play out the limb. Blocker, mind you. And in for 7, free block from Dracula Mihawk. Pass him back. Of course, we're going to get some restands from Limb and from Donkio to Doflamingo, and of course restanding with the other Limb here. So a lot of restands. Only one of the Dracula Mihawks vulnerable to attack. 2 blockers. I have essentially 4 attacks, unless I want to load up this Piranha. Going for a 7. Hody Jones incoming. Now, everyone at home is going to be like, he rests the 2 blockers and goes for game. I did count how many cards in his hand, and I said, you know what? I'm going to see if I can win this without resting. To show you guys how math works. Even with his blockers, he's got 1 card in hand. That means all I have to do is attack 7. And I just have to get his blockers out of the way. So yes, the Hody Jones right now would have been just lethal swing. But here comes my first 7. End of life, freezing Dracula Mihawk. Knowing he only has 1 card in hand, he can't defend against it. He's going to have to use a blocker. He's going to take on this one. Okay, haven't got a blocker out of here, but I guarantee we'll get a nice little 8 out of here. We'll get a block. Knowing with 2 cards in hand, 8's going to be likely what he can't. Here comes 8. Has to block. And of course, I got Dracula Mihawk for another 8 to finish off the game, given he hasn't been able to defend against the other 8s. But he does defend out of that swing, and I give it a full 9 from leader. So yes, you can get me in the chat. You can mock me all you want. Oh, you had Hody, you rest the 2. I could have, yes, whatever. Didn't have to take a life. Just showcasing that sometimes the math is just going to math for you. I had enough attackers I could swing at 7 and do the math to make sure that a card in 1 hand, he can't negate the 7 swing. And of course, with getting 1 life in his hand, the likelihood is at 8. And I had enough attackers in there to either get both cards, which I did, out of his hand for a defense, but still had enough to swing in again to end the game. I technically could have gone just for 5. And of course, there is bounty packs, so we are going to give Cam Sharp his bounty pack because these are provided by me, Humbro. Jimmy D's provided these packs, so anytime you're on camera, I will give you a pack. Most of the time, I'm not on camera, so you got to win it to get it. But in these instances where I do end up winning, I'll give it away. Let's check out what he got. All right, Cam Sharp, what you get? Hopefully something big, or we have to erase the evidence. Not really showing yet. Got the Odyssey Zoro, though. Looks like Marco, not the good one from PRB, and Sugar. 2 playable cards, just not the cards you want to see. All right, double rare pack. All right, that's going to do it for this round. For those out there that don't know, I am going to be trying to do some YouTube videos, and to make my cuts a lot easier, I take breaks now after each game, some of them longer than the others. We have 2 rounds left. This spooky holiday special is going to have 2 more effects. The other one no longer in effect. The fog token has been used. Now we're going to see something different. We're going to find out next round what the stipulation is and what your boy is going to be playing against when I play up against Rayleigh. Silver's Rayleigh. Really fun. We're looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Silver's Rayleigh versus Red Green Smoker. Let's go. Rush first blocking. I can't wait. You tell me in the chat who you think is going to win. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and we're back for round 2 of this amazing series. This is the Halloween special. We got ourselves some really neat rules that are going to be taking place for these events. Last time we watched the Fog play, where we each got a chance to use our Fog token to negate one of our attacks. One of the things we both were able to telecast for both of us, or how weak we were on counter when we had to use both of our Fog tokens, and that gave me the perfect math to be able to take game 1. Now, we're going to re-roll the dice, remind everyone at home what those rules are, and find out what rule is going to be in place for round 2 as I play Curly in his Silver's Rayleigh deck. Can you guess which one of these rules are more punishing to a Rayleigh deck than any other? You tell me in the chat. I want to check it out, because right now we're about to see an epic showdown between the man who has been cursed beyond belief on camera matches up against Jimmy D, who's not going down without a fight, and now we're going to have to play with extra stipulations. It's a rigged match, he says. Let's check out the rules. Just a reminder, if he rolls a 1, if you would be KO'd at 0 life, you get resurrected and brought back to life. If the trigger's 1 time per game, you get 1 life. No discard necessary for this one. This is a better Anel effect. On 2, Ghostly Silence. Event cards cost 1+ to play throughout the round. I'm no logical man and big brain thinker, but I'm thinking the deck that plays a bunch of 0 costs is probably not going to want to see the 2 rolled on this one. Fog is off the table. It's already been played for this turn, so the Fog was in the last round. Or we could get Cursed Weakness. Characters with 7,000 power lose 1,000 power when attacking, meaning even if you allocate Dawn, if it gets up to 7, it's actually technically a 6. And then from there, you have to add more Dawn to get it back up to 7. 5, Trick or Treat. Each player draws an additional card for each turn, meaning both players are technically playing a nice soft version of the blue-purple Luffy. And in 6, Soul Drain. At the start of each turn, each player must discard the top card of their deck. For this round, Chris rolls, and we see 2. Meaning, all event cards are going to cost 1 additional cost to play. That means if he wants to use a 0 cost, he's going to have to pay 1 to do so. If he wants to use his Conqueror's Hockey, he's going to have to pay 2 to make sure that's an effect. All those 0 costs now costing some could be an easy layup for me. However, I play events too. In some of my events, can be pretty crushing. Let's get into the deck list. Starting off with my deck, you guys saw here, I did notice on the break, we are off by a little bit here. I wanted to add the cards to let you guys know exactly what I was playing, because I did realize that I was missing a few cards from my deck list when I made this off the top of my head. And want to get the deck list as right as possible for you guys. So, in this deck list, I am running a total of 8 events. I have the Mole Pistol, which KOs characters after minusing 5,000 to one of the field, and as long as I have a 6,000 power or more, I can KO up a character with 2,000 power less. So anything 7k is free game, so long as I have a character with 6,000 power or more. Igloo, which allows me to give my leader or character plus 3,000, and another character minus 2,000. Can be a potential 5,000, or can negate 2 different attacks depending on the way that they swing. This one's going to cost me 3. This one's going to cost me 5. Then we have Demon Aura 9-sword style Blades of Dead Man's Game. If I want to use it as a defense, I have to pay 2 to give it plus 3,000. And if I want to use it as its main effect, I'm going to have to pay 5. Sorry, 1 for the cost, 3 Rested Dawn, and 1 plus on an additional rule play here. Deck still plays out with the rest of it. There's not a whole lot of searchers for the consistency to make this deck tier 1 in my personal opinion, but I love this deck. I think honestly, the biggest thing around it is the fact that it's losing its consistency. I only own 2 Perona. This should probably be at 4, but even saying so, this deck doesn't have a whole lot of slash for it to hit consistently. It's really just there to make sure that I get one of the key cards about this deck, and it is a smoker. You want to be playing this thing on curve. You want to win the die roll, go first, make sure that you get this, because if I have a character of 7,000 power or more, I can restand 2 of my Dawn, and this one will allow me to restand 1 more. So with this out, I get basically 3 free Dawn on top of whatever Dawn I have. On the 5 Dawn turn, it's technically 8, depending on how way I spend it. And of course, I have other cards that just came out here. Dracula Mihawk that restands 4 on play, meaning if I have Dracula Mihawk in play and Smoker, I can essentially restand 7, giving me a total of 15 Dawn to play with. 17 if it's my 10 Dawn turn. Absolutely disgusting. Of course, we got some rushers for the finisher. Monkey D. Dragon to rush in here. Of course, the Roger that I always love. I said if you're playing red, you should be playing this card because it is that good. It is obviously telecast, but in the late game, people like to wall up. I see it a lot in these games. They like to save their turn. If you have them at 0 life, this is the game ender of game enders. Once you see him, better be prepared because that's going to be it. Of course, I have a couple blockers myself here with Tony Chopper, one of the best ones out there. This deck, it is a 7K. And of course, a nice little Jewelry Bonnie, because it is kind of easy to get to 8 rested on this card game here. It allows me to basically reuse all those restands, and I can play it even after the Dracula Mihawk restand. So I get myself a blocker and ability to draw 2, discard 1. One of the best characters in the deck, Carrot. One of the ones that on play and when attacking can make sure a 7 cost or less cannot restand as active during the refresh phase. So locking down one of those cards, we saw it put in a lot of work last game. This thing is an absolute powerhouse. Not enough 2K powers is what people will mostly say, and a lot of no counters in this deck as well. So we really are going all out on trying to make sure that we ramp out, protect ourselves with the events, and clean house with a Hody Jones sweep. My opponent, which is not his current deck list, because he's not going to give me his current deck list until the championship, making sure that all the spice is hidden. But this is a list of Silver's Rayleigh that we're going to be looking at today. This is considered the rush build because it has 4 copies of the Roanoke Zorro. It has 2 copies of the Kid Killer, both with rush. This one is really nice because if your opponent's at 2 or less life, is a 7K power on swing. Obviously, we're going to have the Boa, which is a key to this deck. One of the really cool fun plays that you can make a lot with this deck. Play it out, get the search for Monkey Luffy or an event card, attack after using Silver's Rayleigh ability for 5K, and then sack it to take 2 Rested Dawn and put it underneath a leader or character for an additional side heavy swing. So this searcher comes with some extra oomph behind it. Those who don't know about Rayleigh, there is a situation where you cannot play with cards of 5 costs or more. So it means 4 costs or less all the way, and once per turn you can reveal 2 events from your hand to give a character with 4,000 base power 2,000 or less, by the way, or 2,000 power. So all the characters on here except for this Roanoke Zorro and Kid Killer are viable, even with the benefit from the Luffy where it gains 2,000 for having 2 allocated Dawn. It's still base power 4, meaning you can still power it up even with allocated Dawn in the field. So sequencing not that dire. My deck list is going to be better, hopefully. I think it will be. I think it will be, Curly. So Sanji, a nice little anti-starvation card, something that's needed to be added because a lot of people have been noticing if you can starve this deck, it is an effective way to try to beat this deck. Not a guaranteed, but a very effective method. Going after their board, trying to clean up, making sure that they can't swing with anything, eventually clean up a lot of these smaller characters. They'll run out of steam, and then you can KO them in 1 turn if you've done your math correctly. Of course, we have Searcher, 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 Searcher. A lot of search in this deck, one of the most consistent, and of course, searching from one of the events here. So, but with the rules in place today, this is going to cost 2 because you have to allocate 3. You have to allocate 2 active Dawn to the character and pay 1 for the cost due to the rule in place. This one's going to cost 2 because you have to allocate 1 active Dawn and pay 1 for the cost. This one on the counter is going to cost 2 because you have to pay for the 1 and the 1 to make sure that you get this ability to kind of like get a nice little 3K counter by minusing all the characters and leaders of your opponent by 1,000 and giving your character plus 2,000 and the counter. This one going to be a cost of 2 again if you want to activate the main to give that additional 1,000 power. And of course, Divine Departure, which will cost 2 on the defense and 7 if you want to use it as a KO. So definitely hurting him more than me is this rule where all events are going to cost 1 more. Let's find out between Curly and I which one of us can take this down. On paper, I'd say he definitely is the most disadvantaged. The shut up and come with us, representing with the 1 die on top of it, is to remind both players that all events cost 1 more. Math is going to be significantly harder for both of us. I'm hoping to see just the character side of my deck and not the event side. And Curly is just hoping to do the math right to make sure he's playing defense properly. 1 Dawn turn, nothing to find. Back to Curly, 2 Dawn turn. See if he gets out with a searcher. One would hope it happens. Here comes Buggy looking for red event on the top 5. Finds the searcher event card here. Gonna pay 1. Nope. Gonna attach 1. Can't swing. But can't play that card either. Sadly, he cannot allocate the 1 Dawn because he has to pay the 1 Dawn. So, back to me, 3 Dawn turn. Already being hindered by this rule in place. Not able to do the search on play late there. Slowing the game down just slightly. Three Dawn turn. No, I do have a smoker in hand here, but I don't have a 3 Dawn turn play here. So coming in for 8, trying to get my life, get his life down. Curly says, it messed me up so bad. Yeah, it did both of us. One of the things that you can't really see too much from the camera here is I actually do have quite a few events in hand that are making things a little more awkward. Where I was thinking it was going to affect you more, but definitely put in some work. 4 Dawn turn here for Curly. Able to start off, he's going to reveal 2 event cards to make sure he can play another 3,000 power character. Showing the Searcher. I tried making a joke about him having to pay 1 to show it to me, and he's like, that's not how that works. I said, yeah, you're right. Can you imagine if he had to pay Dawn just to reveal, on top of being out to pay Dawn just to use the 0 cost? Brings in a free Shiryu, gets a Mole Pistol. This one again is going to cost 5 if he wants to use it. Does get a Rested Dawn 2 liter here from the Monkey D. Luffy if he doesn't forget. Use the effect to pump up the buggy for a nice little 5k swing. Here comes 5. This one to take. Here comes 5, and I give him the 1. Yeah, Curly could have used the Monkey D. Luffy effect to get up to one of the Rested Dawn to make that a 6k swing. I got distracted by the search here. A lot of sequencing comes with this red deck. A lot of triggers that are stacking upon triggers. Got to remember them all. All right, 5 Dawn turn for me. Here comes 5, trying to clean up board. Get rid of the buggy. Drop 5 perfectly on time to get out my smoker. This will allow me to restand 2 with leader ability and restand 1 with smoker. Allowing me 3 Dawn. Can use this defensively if I want to. I think I'm going to pass back the turn. 6 Dawn turn for Curly. Has 3 solid attacks this turn. Can really start putting in some pressure. Me with no blockers, no real defense right now. And unfortunately having to take that 5 swing, which means I probably am pretty low on counter here. On top of all the events I have in my hand, there's a lot of no counter at the top end here. So Curly allocating a Dawn. Revealing 2. Making sure he's got a nice little 5k swing coming from the Shocky. 5 into life, asking for 1. Asking for how much Dawn is left. Make sure I plan my attack. Obviously, I'm telecasting an Igloo here. Does cost 3 to play. Using an Igloo to negate a 5k swing doesn't seem counterintuitive, especially knowing that his Monkey Luffy can come in for 6. This one just gonna be a take. Now hoping to defend against the Monkey D. Luffy and maybe turn off the leader attack because I want to get some value out of this Igloo. Comes 1 associated, now 2k plus to the Monkey D. Luffy. Has a 6 and 6 with what, 5 or what's 4 Dawn left to allocate where he wants. Decides against it. Really thinking about how he has to play defensively because every single one of his 0 costs is going to cost 1. So he has to know, how am I going to be able to activate these 0 costs in hand? See how Curly wants to navigate this turn. I don't know how familiar he is with the Igloo, but definitely want to try and get some value out of it. Can counter out of a 9k swing with 2 Dawn, 3 because of the stipulation of this match, or can counter out of a 7k swing and then give -2 to another character to ensure I can make it harder. But yep, he's gonna go for the search, allocate the Dawn. Look at the top 4 for a red event or character. With 3 costs or more, if I remember correctly. I mean, he can find that Kid Killer. One of the few red decks that has a search for the Kid Killer. He's going to find that unblockable Rayleigh event. He's going to come in for 6. We might see the Igloo here. Tap in 3. There is the Igloo. Going to give +3 and -2 to lead. So that means he's currently at 4K with the allocated Dawn. Means I either negate the attack or he's going to have to allocate more Dawn for a swing. At least one more if he wants to swing 5. Going to use the 3 remaining. What, for a Sanji? Nope, for a Brook. All right, that one has a nice little ability when attacking. Going to go to my 7 Dawn turn here. Draw for turn, see what I get. Look like a Roger off the top. Igloo putting in some massive work that turn. Here comes 5. Another 5 cost. Is this another smoker? Or maybe even a carrot. Which would be super effective right now. Keeping that monkey sealed down. Also means I'm removing the counter from my hand that I'm already kind of weak on. And have to count my Dawn here because I got to do some allocation properly for what it can restand. Here comes 6 in a Shocky, guaranteeing that hit. Here comes 5. Oh, Mole Pistol. That's just going to deal with it automatically. 5 for the event. Use leader effect to restand 2. And Smoker to restand 1. Got 4 left. Using 2 to swing in for 9. That's going to be a banish. Hit 3 to 2 life, passing back to Curly. Curly only has the Brook and leader ability. 2 open, indicating that I do have the green event card that can cost 2. 1 more because of the stipulation we have on this game today. See how Curly wants to navigate this. Really being hindered by this +1 cost to all events here. Not to mention it's just absolutely cursed on camera. Waiting to see this man get his first win on camera. Looking at the Brook. Has potential to go board himself or try to go game. I have been kind of weak on counter here. It's going to reveal 2 to power up the Brook to 6K. It gives it 2 allocation Dawn. Could pop a character, but I don't think he has a legal target yet to pop anything. So just could go in for 6, but here we go. That's going to be enough to give him the character of 6,000 power or more and pop the Smoker right away. 1 good Mole Pistol deserves another, right? Curly says, it was the worst. I was getting a double whammy, right? Making sure you could kill my character and come in for 6. Looking for 2. Gets it. Tama counter. Here comes 5 into life. We'll see what if I can counter out of this one. Just give him another 2K. Passing back the turn. No board state for myself here. Do need to get myself at least 1 more 7K or power or higher to get my leader ability back online. Mihawk off the top. That's probably exactly what I needed. That's going to give me an additional 6 Dawn for the turn. Here comes 8, likely a Mihawk. There we go. Restand 4. Gives me a decent blocker. I do know that he has the anti-blocker capability. Still in there for that one of the events he revealed to me earlier here. But now have a total of 6 Dawn. Sorry, 7 Dawn. Available. Potentially able to play out more blockers. Maybe get some strong attack in to get rid of this Brook. Leave him with leader. And given that he does have the it can't be blocked leader ability, I do want to make sure that I keep my life at 1 so I don't guarantee him an easy combo to use that unload on the leader and just swing for game. We're now doing the math here. Looking like I'm thinking 8 into 4 should be pretty reliable given he has 3 Dawn open. 9 is the number here. Thinking I should be able to get around all those 2Ks in hand. if they're just events. First one going to cost 2 for the Conqueror's Hockey. If he wants to use it. Curly having to do math. Tapping 1. Tapping another 1 for Conqueror's Hockey. So now plus 2 to 6, minus 1 to my character. At 9, so it's at 8. 8 to 6 still needs... Here's 2 more. Now we're 8 to 8. So he's still... And paid his last Dawn. Still needs to give me a single K to protect it. And doing the math, because both of us had to think this one hard. A lot of difficulty with this fog effect, or this this painful event thing here. But yeah, he does owe me at least 1 more 2K. Gonna give it to me with a Sanji. Or he only owed me 1K, but was able to successfully save it. Curly, math make head hurt, right? A lot of that was saved up just enough. Unfortunately, 9 was not the right number. Looking like 10 should have been the real number, but I did need to leave open 3 because I probably do have another Igloo in hand. And me just trying to show him that I am playing with events, so I am affected too. Math is a little bit easier on my side, to be fair, but definitely still having a factor. See what Curly musters up at his 10 Dawn turn. Another Luffy off the top. Has plenty to reveal. Didn't even show me the unblockable one to remind me he has it, but I know he has it. Gonna use that ability to look at the top 5, looking for Monkey Luffy or Red Event. Hopefully this time we'll remember he can allocate a Rested Dawn to his leader, or Brook if he wishes to. If he misses it again, I'm highly convinced he's forgot what Monkey Luffy does. So knowing he's in the chat, maybe this will be the one thing he doesn't do during the championship series. Do not forget your Monkey D. Luffy gives an allocated Rested Dawn. There's a lot of text on this card. I'm not going to deny it. There's a lot of text on this card. But not only do you get to play, you also get a Rested Dawn underneath a leader or character. Let's see what he does. I'm not seeing the Rested Dawn get allocated, so I'm imagining he probably already forgot. Does have the ability to re-show those 2 same events, though, to power up Brook to a 6K. Brook gonna give 2 allocated Dawn on attack here. Swings in 7, get a free block here from Mihawk. Me notably trying to make sure that I don't get underneath 1 life here. Tried to attack, forgot it. It did not. It saw Summoning Sickness. Not able to attack this turn. Looks like he's potentially going to swing the 7. Look at the cards underneath his life to see what he wants to keep back. We've used a total of 7. He's only got 3 Dawn left for allocation. Might need to use those on the defense. Decides that is the case. Swing 7. And here comes another Igloo. Minus 2K to whatever. It doesn't matter. Because that is going to be the rest of his turn. Alright, here's my 10 Dawn turn. Luckily, was able to keep my blocker alive. Can I put up some pressure and start cleaning up board here? 3 life, a little bit too far away for me to be able to really start threatening life here. But I definitely got to start doing something to get rid of some of these key pieces. Another Mole Pistol will be pretty good against this Monkey D. Luffy. It being the biggest threat on the board. Leader effect still live for me here. Do the Jackal Mihawk, but just means I'm currently working with 12 Dawn versus 10. That Monkey D. Roger we saw earlier just going to be absolutely useless. Here comes 7 out 3, looking like I might play a Hody. It's going to take a life, but could give me some targets to swing into. Here comes 7 into Brook here. Seeing if I can get some get that off the board. Given 7 into that 4K, I might be able to potentially get a nice Hody swing to get him out of defense range for this Monkey D. Luffy. We'll see. Here comes Hody. Gonna rest both. Take a life. Use Smoker ability to restand 2. Gives me 3 open. 8 into 6. Based on the last attack, if I go 3 over, I should be able to get through unless he's saving the counter. I was trying to bait it with leader swing there. Here comes 9. See if he has the counter. There's Conqueror's Hockey. Paying the 2. 8 to... What's that? 8 to 7. Or, sorry, 8 to 8 now. Seven into Luffy here. I think if I remember correctly, I take that back because I forgot about the minus 1,000 in the field. But I also noticed that we didn't do the math right here. That was a 9 to 6. So technically you got a... You still needed one more counter. That was a screw up on our part. Because he made my 8 into his 6, got plus 2, that's 8 to 8. He still needed one more counter for that. Math is hard. When you put these rules in effect, it's difficult. You can see where we're making all kinds of mistakes. I don't know what I was thinking. I normally am good at giving dawn to that. Yeah, it's all right. It happens. It's one of those things when you just got to get into the rinse rather repeat. If you play in the sim too much, it does it for you. You get too used to it. So I do notice a lot of sim players do forget to do that and get the sequencing right. That's why I love doing paper, because it just forces you to remember, forces you to go through the steps, play it through the sequencing properly, get more interactive. All right, so Curly's going to reveal 2 here, power up the Shocky. I do know that I cannot afford to go to 0 life here, knowing that he still has the can't be blocked Rayleigh event. So I'm going to have to navigate this turn. Here comes 6. Free block from the Mihawk. Also to note for those out there, I did the free block in the Mihawk because I did want him to attack into the Mihawk again to try to get rid of it. Trying to use it as a pseudo blocker, if you will. But draw attention to my board versus my life. Because my ultimate fear here is to take that 1 life. But here comes 8. Which looked like he did attack my Mihawk, so I gave him 2 for it. But since I can easily defend it and still have the other blocker to protect it, if he tries to allocate all of his dawn to go after the Mihawk, I can easily keep it alive for the next turn. And keep myself with the ability to swing with it next turn if I need to. Here comes 5. Gets a block. Really indicating I don't have any counter. Just kind of scary. But I basically told Curly right there I have no counter. So this time I do have to start cleaning board. Unfortunately, with 3 attacks, even with a Hody swing, there's no way for me to guarantee every hit lands. Here comes 5 in a Shocky. Smartly, Curly doesn't defend. We'll see if I can get enough dawn to kill this Monkey D. Luffy. Definitely need to do something to get this thing off the board, but I still have to worry about that boa. So looking potentially 5 for a 13k swing into the 6k Dolphy, or Monkey D. Luffy. Or 4 for a 12. A lot of math here. Gotta remember, I do get 2 back. Here comes 5, 13. Should be enough to get over whatever is on defense he has to the Monkey D. Luffy. Even with 3 dawn, best case scenario is what is it, 5k? And he's like, how much do I need? I said 13. You need 8K to counter out of that one. Here comes 5 for a smoker. Let me restand 3. And telecasting maybe an extra igloo or another other defense. But no other blockers to hear of. Pass back. Got to avoid 2 attacks. 1 blocker, 1 life. Can I start putting on the offensive? Have I successfully starved him out of this game? Buggy. Gonna get him another event. Still with characters to play. Going in for the additional attack or 2K counter. I mean, he's got to save up at least 1 Dawn for that one. I know he's still got the unblockable Rayleigh. I know he's still got a Searcher. And I believe we might have seen him already use the Conqueror's Hockey. So I know 3 of those 4 events are definitely in hand. And if he's able to leave up 4 Dawn, that means he's capable of countering out of at least 9K power. Revealing 2, powering out the Boa. Curly's, don't worry about it, bud. It's all right. It's incumbent on both players to do the math always and present it. Like, you can blame the other player all you want to, but it's absolutely by rule required by both players to maintain the game state. So don't ever feel like you just have to, you're not at fault. It's also at me for making sure the math was right. Big swing here, 8K swing, perfect for my Dracula Mihawk, knowing if I do block, which I am incentivized to do so, because taking this just means he can go for a massive swing with the leader. Gonna have to block with no counter, so he knows I have no counter. Or at least not counter that can save the Mihawk. Gonna go for 8. Nope, 7. Wants to be able to stay alive. Here comes 7. And here's my defense for 3. Keeping him away from being able to freely activate that can't be blocked Mihawk, or can't be blocked Rayleigh attack. Curly smart enough to hang on to it this whole game. Got me sweating. 1 card off the top. Needs some way to get rid of this buggy. And that way, literally just use last turn to stay alive. Here comes Perona. Can it find me a blocker? Can it find me another Searcher? Maybe a Mihawk? Could really use some more defense here, given I have no cards in hand. While trying to starve Curly. Curly has effectively starved me. I think actually in hand was that Roger. I revealed earlier. Whiff on the search. Whiff on the search. Oh, you hate to see it. The only other card in hand, Goldie Roger, cost 10. Can no longer play the Goldie Roger. A card that notably doesn't do anything against Curly's deck. He doesn't play blockers. It is a nice 13K swing, though. And now I'm not able to defend against it. And Curly guaranteed 2 attacks next turn. As low as my hand is, can literally just use the event card to kill me if I don't find some way to convince him to go otherwise than board. Or go face, otherwise than face. Alright, 7. Bo is gone. I have the ability to banish to get 1 life tick away. Got 3 Dawn. Try to go for 11. With Banish. Decides to take. Hopefully Curly fully in the understanding now that this game is completely his. 1 card in hand, no blockers, 2 attacks, 1 life. Activate Smoker's ability to restand 1. Why not? Leave 4 open, pass the turn. 1 card in hand. If Curly's been paying attention, he knows it's a Goldie Roger. That whiff from Perona, absolutely devastatingly punishing. Curly here just needs to swing 2. Powering up the buggy into a 7k swing. Guarantees the first hit, then unload everything on the Rayleigh and he should win the game. Here's the 2 to pump up the buggy. Hey, welcome to the chat. Brandon, good to see you. Let's see where he allocates it. Just needs to go 7. Goes 9 instead. On the take. Has enough for a 10. No trigger. Just needs to go 10. Easy math. And that's going to do it. 2K counter off the top. No slash. Not able to do anything. That Hody Jones could have been effective on the top there. Which I think he's special. I don't think he's slash. All Might says, I love Green Red Smoker. I pulled the alt leader. Yo, I know. Seriously, right? And congratulations goes to Curly, who has officially broken the camera curse. Congratulations, Curly, with your first win. Jimmy D gift wrapped it up for you. As you can see, no, I didn't just take it easy on you. No, I didn't just misplay and give the game to you. That was entirely deserved and earned. Congratulations, Curly. You played around the deck perfectly, and you got yourself the win, and your first win on camera. So now, you should be done away with it, especially since at the end of this game, we're going to showcase to everybody where everybody stands on those People's Championship and the Championship bracket to see who you're going to be playing potentially. I'll break that down at the end of the stream. Right now, we're going to take a quick break and get into the final round and see what me and Porter, who's in the chat, are going to look like when we play head-to-head in the next rule that's going to be enforced upon this table. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. I had a whole lot of fun playing this game, to be honest with you. I honestly thought when he rolled the dice, I cheered that Curly was going to be underneath that kind of pressure. And even through that pressure, with the stipulation of having to pay 1 for every event card he used, he was able to fight back. Well done, Curly. I'm proud of you. You did a great job. And Curly in the chat here, so you definitely ranked. Definitely ranked. No, guys, that was a great match. I had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We got one more match left, myself against Porter, playing something a little new. Stay tuned to find out what it is. It's a lot of fun. We'll be right back.
scared of water, too scared of water. And I hope that one day you'll find me again. We can run to the top of the mountains. So if I took you back to the place where we first met, would you fall in love all over? Would you fall in love once all over again? So if I took you back to the moment you met me, would you smile like our first kiss? Would you remember when you fell in love with me? Just give me a hand and we'll run far from here, away from curfews you have and all those things you hold dear. It would be stupid to throw it away, so let's get out on this boat and stop your crying for days. I wanna see the sea, but amazingly I'm too scared of water, too scared of water. And I hope that one day you'll find me again. We can run to the top of the mountains. So if I took you back to the place where we first met, would you fall in love all over? Would you fall in love once all over again? So if I took you back to the moment you met me, would you smile like our first kiss? Would you remember when you fell in love with me? Try hard. No, we don't need to be clear. We need our best thoughts held dear. We need escape from here. So if I took you back to the place where we first met, would you fall in love all over? Would you fall in love once all over again? So if I took you back to the moment you met me, would you smile like our first kiss? Would you remember when you fell in love with me?
Welcome back to Homebrew Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D. And if you guys want to see the rest of that box opening, you got to check it out on Patreon because I'm going to be loading up tonight. I got a lot of work tonight. I got a lot of stuff I got to do. I got to learn how to become a better editor. Slowly but surely, I will become a modest at best editor as I try my best to edit through some of these things. I'm going to try and cut through the videos tonight. I'm going to try and cut through some of the awesome Union Arena coverage I have for you guys. I got some really cool Union Arena videos to cover the new releases. A lot of people super hyped about the new sets from Kaiju number 8 and the Yu Yu Hakusho. Got a couple decks I've built. We're going to be testing those things out soon on camera and giving you guys some of those matches. And I'm trying to do my best to make sure that I get those fab cuts that I have for the Fab Pro Quest that we have out to the Fab channel. So I'm doing everything I can to try and get videos out to YouTube, to everybody out there. I really appreciate your patience. I am a one-man show when it comes to editing, pushing. I am a two-man show when it comes to usually doing these live events and doing the coverage. And sometimes I get some help in the studio when I'm doing recording. And I do appreciate the people that do help out. Midnight, for one, thank you very much, Hart, because that really helped out a lot, and it does every single time you're able to give me the time to manage the studio so I can manage the audience. Those that don't know, I am just a media manager when it comes to Lifelink games. I'm not a partner. I only get like decent discounts to help out, and like just basically I get to work in tandem with him to come up with events and schedules like this. And sometimes Chris does it on his own. Sometimes I'm just the head guy that makes sure that the rounds are being pushed, that all the timers being moderated, that I'm getting the recordings there, making sure everyone's in the right place, and making sure all the opponents have their opponent if they haven't registered properly, fixing that. So a lot of my time goes into organizing new events, trying to get things ready at the store, playing in these events so I can make sure that we have enough player base, trying to introduce new players, teaching new people. I love to teach people new card games. That's why I learned so many of them. I'm going to be doing a lot with Fab. We're going to be doing some Riftbound. Riftbound's coming up soon. I got a decent amount of help when it comes to some of the coverage for Fab, but all the video editing, everything, that all falls on me. So because I don't have the finances to even remotely come close to being able to pay a moderator or pay an editor to do what they need to do to make these videos, I'm just gonna have to do it on my own, and it means it's probably gonna be crap at first, but it'll get better. It does sound stressful, Curly, but I mean, and at the end of the day, we're all chasing something. We're all going through it. You can't put in, if you're not willing to put in the work, don't try. And as I am a guy trying to get this channel up and big, I would love nothing more than to start hosting online tournaments, getting people involved. I really see Lifelink growing as a company. I want to see Lifelink grow as a company because we are one of the few companies out there in LGSs that sell at near MSRP as possible. Obviously, we have some bills to pay. We're in a pricey area as a country, as an area, so we don't sell it even remotely close to what you could find on TCG Player. It's definitely close to MSRP. Usually about maybe at best $5 over if we have to for certain sets, right? And we were just talking earlier, if you guys were on the last stream and were watching me live, you're not watching the VOD today, we were just talking about how every single box for Gundam right now is over $200, and we sold them at $120 each for the box. We sold out fast because we only get allocated so much, and we try to make sure that the players get the product in their hand. And I want to get this whole program growing to the point where we can buy so much that we can introduce to everybody the MSRP price and ensure everybody out there who is an actual player can get the cards at the value that they should be paying for these, to make sure they get the game pieces to play what are arguably some of the best games you can possibly play. Especially when we're talking Bandai, they're knocking it out of the park with so many of these games, and I really want to do my best to get much of this product as possible to help my casters play their decks they want to play, me play the decks I want to play, and you players out there, especially like if you're Curly, if you're Sai, or any of the people out there, they ask me for cards all the time. I'm like, here you go. I'm always ready with a collection, let you play what you want to play the best deck you possibly can, play it the best of your ability, and get into and enjoy the game as much as I do. Because I feel like this is a really cool venture, Lifelink Games and myself, to try to grow this brand into something and maybe even turn it into an esport someday. Who knows? It's years away, but it's just, I want to revitalize this and put this into the spectator sport that I think it deserves to be. I think that there's a lot of great things to be said about people who can buy the product, own their product, keep it, and even though each pack isn't gonna get your money back, this isn't an investment on opening, sometimes you can save the right cards, get the right cards graded, sometimes you can get the best hits of your life, and you can get those things and make a difference when the going gets tough, or just when you want to retire like me. I got a huge collection. This is my retirement plan, guys. Yeah, Ritazzi, can't wait for Riftbound. Me neither, brother. Me neither. Riftbound is going to be an absolute banger of a set. That's another one where the allocation is absolutely great. I think right now I'm predicting a massive scalper loss given release because most scalpers have been trying to sell up to 300 or more per box. It's 140 at the maximum what you should be paying for these boxes, and we have them at like 120 to 140, somewhere in that range. Our box is going to be 120 to 140. We had a healthy allocation because we did the proper paperwork, and Riftbound sent us our actual allocation. It blew our minds when we asked for so much and they gave us that much. I was just like, what? We didn't get shorthand? We didn't get like half the orders? I was like, whoa, bro, come on. So if it's looking as good for everybody else as it is for us, that means Riftbound is going to be well printed. We're going to have plenty of space. Don't buy those scalper prices. Wait for them to start losing money on that investment the way that they should, because those prices are way too freaking high. And it means that there's going to be a healthy barrier of entry for people to get into this game, which is absolutely essential. Another thing to why we work so hard to sell our product and try to do our best to mitigate how many scalpers can get it. You can't say no to all of them, but you can certainly limit their capability of buying you out and ensure that you have enough for your players. And that's always been our motif since day one. Make sure you get the product in the hands of the players as best as you possibly can. And if we can grow, we can get this thing booming into like, I don't know, name me a moderate level streamer. We can get up to there, and a YouTuber at a moderate level. We could bring in enough money and enough cash flow from the advertisements alone to get the products, the pricing better for you guys at home, and get stocks and stocks of this so I can sell you guys these boxes at that beautiful 120 price that you should have paid for this box, not the $200-300 you have to pay if you want to buy it in the aftermarket today. And a reminder, next week we will be opening this up. So starting Monday next week, we're going to get our first crack at our first couple packs of this PRB 2 box that I bought just for you. I appreciate you guys. I only got one box myself. It has been so hard for me to keep this sealed. You have no idea. So many good hits, so many good pulls. These are my favorite of all products to open up on stream because it feels like every pack is a massive hit. I love giving these out, and I hope to someday get big enough that every single time I have to give away packs, I'm giving away something like this. I'm giving away potential for manga. I'm giving you the potential for all this just for being you and helping me as part of the community. This is absolutely free of charge. Exclamation point join. Write in the chat to let me know you want to be on the wheel, and you get your chance. And that wheel is something we're going to hit after this last round of this tournament. We're in a hidden like rules that we have to play for. This next one's going to be a banger. I can't wait. But the next match is going to be me and Porter head to head, and Porter isn't playing Law. Bruhane, exactly. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Bruhane, welcome back. We'll put you on the wheel. Don't worry. So let's get ourselves to the deck list for this banger of a match, and I think you're going to be a little surprised by what Porter's playing. So those very familiar with the channel might know Porter plays green, yellow Trafalgar Law. This doesn't look like Trafalgar Law. No, it looks like Shanks. This is Shanks. Shanks don't play no red, but he does today. So one of the things I will say, that this is not Porter's list. This is not at all. He's been playing and testing this on the side and thinks it maybe his deck of choice. Not guaranteed, but maybe his deck of choice for the championship series when he gets the top spot, as he locked in last week, or 2 weeks ago now. Locked in his top spot in there, so he's going to be trying his best to win 3 rounds, best 2 out of 3, in the championship league coming the 8th of November. But now, he just brought this really fun Shanks deck. And we're going to get into that just before we do, though. I almost forgot. Time to go over the rules. The rules of today. Remember, you can only do one of these once. We've already played Ghostly Silence, so event cards are +1. That was last match. Expertly navigated by Curly and got the W, even with the most harsh rules against him. We've already used the Fog of the Dead, where each player receives a Fog of the Dead token. That was in round 1. Each of us had the ability to negate 1 attack. Now the only things left: Rise of the Dead, so this semi-annul ability without the discard effect. If you reach 0, you're resurrected and brought back, so you get 1 extra life. So whenever you get to 0, you get 1 more. We could have Cursed Weakness, where all characters of 7,000 power lose 1,000 power, meaning even if you allocate Dawn to the character, if it gets to 7,000, it immediately drops to 6. Then you have to keep adding Dawn afterwards to get it over that curse. It also means that my static 7,000 power characters, like Smoker, are going to be a 6,000 power, which means I'm going to have to allocated Dawn to activate my leader ability. Trick or Treat, each player draws an additional card each turn. Pseudo kind of like blue purple Luffy. Yonko, Richie, good to see you. Thank you so much for the exclamation point join. And finally, Soul Drain. At the start of each turn, each player must discard a card off the top of their deck. Now, as there's not a whole lot of graveyard, no Gecko Moria really in the meta, this doesn't really benefit anybody. It's just an extra card gone that you could have wanted. And some of those cards can be quite essential. And after the roll, we found out Soul Drain was exactly how we were going to have to play this round. Meaning Porter and I are going to have to take the top card off of our deck every turn and draw a card. We're always going to be one down. Let's hope that the sequencing of the removal on the top doesn't hurt our gameplay. So for Porter, starting off with Shanks, this particular build, not his build, is more of kind of a rush slash control-esque build. Has a lot of no counter in it because of course it has to with the, you're gonna need this 0 cost to counter out of it. But it's got the Goldie Roger, it's got 4 of the 10 cost Shanks, which is an absolute powerhouse with a static ability of luring all the characters on your opponent's side of the field by minus 1000. It also has rush. You have this awesome staple rusher, Monkey D Dragon, has rush, and when you play it you can give 2 Rested Dawn to your leader or character cards. You have this Rayleigh that's going to see a lot of play in this new Roger deck coming up. Hazelnuts, welcome back. Good to see you. Silver's Rayleigh on play. 2 of your opponent's characters. One of them gets -3. One of them gets -2. And then you get to KO one of your opponent's characters with 3000 power or less. So usually, and this does last until your opponent's next turn. So minusing that ability means that they're either going to attack weak or be a softer target to swing into. You have Ben Beckman, which dodges a lot of those KO effects, but does just trash the character of 6,000 power or less. Nice little rush Luffy here. On attack, takes 1 Rested Dawn and attaches it to itself or any other character or leader. You've got Yasop, which has been seeing regular play in and out throughout the plays here. There's obviously some new Shanks cards I really like that are pretty powerful. But Yasop, one from this deck list, up to one of your leader characters gets plus 1000 until end of turn. So on play, you get to get your leader at nice little 6k, which is quite effective given that you have an ability to minus 1k on any attack once per turn against your opponent with this leader ability. Dawn times 1 when attacking, give up to one of your opponents minus 1000 power during the turn. Usually pretty good if you want to combo swing this with like a Rayleigh if you're just trying to get out of that range, or if you're trying to soften a target, really nice. So nice little 7k into a softer target. Lucky Roo has the ability to, of course, on KO up a character with base power 6,000 power or less. That is base, so it means if it's getting boosted by anything, the 6 power is what matters. Nice little 2k block, 2k and a 4 cost blocker that can be a 6k power on your opponent's turn. Sanji, that's a 6k attacker and a draw replacement. Some 2ks, anti-starvation start Sanji, allows you to take a life and make him a 7k swing on the turn that you want to swing with him. It's just a nice little card to have. It is a 2k counter most of the time, but it does stop people from trying to starve you. 2k counters, and of course that is the Shanks deck. A lot of red, a lot of rush, a lot of removal, a lot of hockey. And he's going to be going up against my green-red smoker deck. Now this one, not enough searchers in my opinion. I only have 2 Perona. I need to up this count myself. I've been waiting for 2 to get traded in the store. 2 yet to get traded in yet, but we'll get there. We did see this thing whiff last game, and if this whiffs one more time, I might just cut it from the deck entirely. Or just change my deck up to get more strike package, because that you don't want your searchers to whiff. It does have quite a few targets that it can get. We have of course the Dracula Mihawk and the key to the deck Smokers. This one 5 cost. You need to have this card, guys. This is the reason this card make or break works a lot like green purple Luffy. If you don't have the Sanji pudding, the deck don't seem to work right. This one, a nice little 5 cost. The earliest you can get a 7k power on board. Has Banish, which is relevant, but also has the ability to to restand 1 Dawn. With Leader, that means you can get 3 Dawn while it's out. And 3 Dawn gives me access to a defensive 10 layer Igloo, gives me access to maybe even a restand 1 so I can use this defensively if necessary. It has the ability to give me more allocation at Dawn so I can swing bigger if I need to. But comboed off with this Dracula Mihawk, I can basically get 15 Dawn in 1 turn with these 2 cards out, which is absolutely disgusting. 15 Dawn in 1 turn means I'm playing a lot of the cards in my hand here. It means I got to keep the pressure up on my opponent. So we'll see if we can do it. Right now, we're under the pressure. Every single turn, the top card of our deck goes trash, and we draw a card. Here's hoping we don't lose key pieces in this matchup. So, in the chat, just tell me, who do you think is going to win this between Porter and myself? Nope, that's the wrong matchup. That is a different game. Let's see. Where are we at here? There we go. Going back a bit here. So the die on top of the deck reminding both of us that we have to take the top card off our deck before we draw. And to remind all the players at home that we are under a random stipulation for this round. I gotta say, honestly, the stipulations for this were fantastic. It made the game so much more interesting than it normally is, having to play around certain different rules. We unfortunately only got to see 3 of them in effect, but it was so much fun. Richie says, I got Shanks only because I run Shanks on my LGS. All right, I like it. But there we go. First mill, that one was an inappropriate order. We're going to get it fixed in just a moment. We were still trying to go through the rules. These are brand new plays. But 10 cost Shanks going to hit the yard, and Trafalgar Law going to come to hand. 2 Dawn turn here for Porter. Looks like he's going to pass back. All right, first one to the yard. Hody Jones off the top. So one of my Hodies is no longer a viable option to push in some late game damage. Gonna go for the 5 and 5. Negate for the first attack and second attack. Gets a 1K. The same card he got. Off the top, he loses the new Lucky Roo from the starter deck. Or is that the PRB? No, sorry, that's the new PRB Lucky Roo from PRB 2. Discard a 6K power or more and draw 2 cards. Leader comes in, cleans up the Virgo, puts out a Lucky Roo to replace it. It's another blocker. That one's the KO, 6K power or less. Off the top, I lose a 2K and Tony Chopper. 5 Dawn turn, perfect for the Smoker if I have it. This is the turn I would absolutely need to play Smoker if I have it. Especially if I want this to go in my favor here. Needs some kind of answer in this Lucky Roo. Sadly able to kill a lot of the stuff in my deck, but we're going to start off with a search. Meaning I do not have it. So we'll search off the top. Mihawk the selection, meaning I whiffed on the Smoker. 4 Dawn left here. Gonna go out with Tony Chopper and pass back the turn. No point in attacking. He can just minus 1K, or he could have just Lucky Root killed my Tony Chopper. I'm just not gonna bother either way. So Shanks successfully negating 1 attack here. Here comes 5. Free block for the 6K. 7K technically, sorry. Trafalgar Law on the pass back. Brendan Porter says, I just want to mention that I said this man would whiff Smoker from his searches and then mill them from his from the gimmick. We'll see if it plays through. First attack to Shigi, the 2K counter. Seven Dawn, separating 3, maybe to play some defense out here. Not separating 5, so I could get a Smoker in play. Which is still absolutely critical. 3 allocation to get 2 Dawn back is not a great trade, especially against a blocker. If I want to get leader effect up, I have to essentially allocate a lot of Dawn here to the Tony Chopper. Brandon says, sometimes foreshadowing is quite obvious. We'll see. I'm trying to plan out my turn. Clearly indicating I do not have the Smoker. But also have to be very careful because one simple swing in this Lucky Roo, he could pop my Tony Chopper defense. Alright, here comes 5 for the blocker and a pass the turn. Unfortunately, not 8 rested cards. 2 open for defense. Again, not attacking because the first attack is just going to get negated or it's going to go into Lucky Roo and he can pop any of my characters. Do have answers to this Lucky Roo. If I can draw them. Or get them from life. but this leader effectively turning off 2 massive attacks is pretty big. Here comes 7. He's got a -2 in the Tony Chopper, meaning it's at 5k. I'm gonna give my leader +3. Here comes Ben Beckman. Gonna trash and kill my Bonnie. And a nice little search afterwards for the Uda. Look at the top 5 for a Shanks, or red-haired pirates. Gets the new Shanks from the starter deck. No, wait, is that starter deck or is that... Yeah, it was from the starter deck. New starter deck Shanks. No. It was the OP12 Shanks? Shit, where did that one come from? OP12, that's right. OP12 Shanks, that has the ability to discard a card once per turn and -2k for the turn. For that character. Very good effect, especially comboed with the leader. I can't even remember what we're discussing anymore, but we'll go to turn. Let's see what the mill is. Carrot. All right, let's see if I got a smoker out of this play. 9 Dawn turn, still no smoker. Here's 7. Looks like I pulled the Ben Beckman, so Ben Beckman deserves another one. That one's going to avoid the KO effect, so I keep my Tony Chopper alive. However, again, not with a whole lot of great attacks here. Going to use leader ability to gain 2 back. And could go for a 9k swing here to finally get some damage in. Just making sure this Trafalgar Law doesn't have any other useful abilities past its constant attack for -2k. And I'm just going to use the last bit to Mulgun. Oh, that's what I'm explaining. So, one of the funny things on that hit, one of the things I really want to call out here, let's see, it's at 814. Guys, you got to see this swing. So, here's the swing from leader into life. Mulgun trigger. He's minus my Tony Chopper. I no longer have a character of 6k power or more. Because this attack subtracted my Tony Chopper, I cannot activate main on this ability. The sequencing of Porter right here was absolutely insane. The fact he has a card that minuses 2 to the Tony Chopper, preventing me from being able to use the trigger for free to get some massive value here to pop this Ben Beckman, forced me to have to use it on my turn. And that's essentially what I'm talking to about it. Brew Hayden, thank you so much, by the way. This is why you always attack the characters first. Yes, absolutely. Great commentary. Brain dead. Here comes 5. Probably going to get negated. He decides to take anyways. Probably running low on cards. Off the top, we lose the Ben Beckman. Porter deciding, I'm just going to gain some card advantage here. Goes to his 10 Dawn turn. This could be the Shanks play. Once Shanks goes 10-10 Shanks twice, it's really hard to come back from these games, especially if you haven't hit your smoker and haven't been able to get your combos online. We'll see where Porter wants to take this. Mr. Foggerwork absolutely putting in good work. One good Mole Pistol deserves another. Ben Beckman getting the Mole Pistol twice in this match. Here comes 7, reducing by 2. So Tony Chopper back to 5. We'll see if I decide to take. I do. No trigger on that. Porter still has 10 open. Leader attack. Could swing Uda if he wants to. Maybe to test the waters and see what strength of my hand. Or it could just drop 10 for a Shanks. A little early for a Goldie Roger, but could drop it. Going 5 instead. Going for the blocker. Or 4 instead here. Looks like he's going to go for the blocker Shanks play here instead. 7 in life. Gets 2 cards on a hand. Here comes the blocker Shanks. Now Shanks and Shanks on board, preventing next turn attacks. Me not with a whole lot of great options yet. Oh, that's right. The Mole Pistol before then. That's right. He didn't have 10 Dawn. He had the 4 Dawn for the Mole Pistol. Off the top shade. Smart first smoker in the yard. First access to a smoker, and I mill it with the rules enforcement. Here comes Mihawk. Getting another blocker online. Restand 4, 2 with leader ability. Still have substantial amount. Cannot play Hody Jones or anything higher. But one of those smokers would have been a great play right here. And a tap 4 for another Mole Pistol. And he used the ability to minus 2,000. And in doing so made... so... The sequence here is so good. So the Mole Pistol was played against it. He used the ability of Trafalgar Law to minus 2,000 power. So essentially this is a 0 attack. The combination of leader effect and the Shanks ability protected this Trafalgar Law for the Perona swing. Tony Shopper comes in for 4. He's going to get a free block from the Shanks. And now comes potentially 7, potentially 8 into the Trafalgar Law that was at 0 power. Passing back the turn. Can anybody guess I didn't have anything else to do with it, Don? So it went minus 5,000. He used leader ability to go minus 2,000 to make it 7, or the character ability to give it minus 2,000. So it was at 0,000 during that swing. Oh, and here comes the 10 cost Shanks. Board is officially looking pretty weak. I had to attack with my blocker just to get that Trafalgar Law off the board. Here comes Perona off the board from the Uda swing. Shanks going into Tony Chopper. I think I'm going to value the Mihawk just a little bit more than the Tony Chopper. Gonna let that go. Now let's go off the top and hope to God we don't mill another smoker. I don't know how if we can come back, but smoker is going to be the way we get there. And there's a smoker. Smoker number 2 has officially hit the yard. 2 of 4 have been milled by the poison gas. 10 Dawn, minus 1,000 power to my entire board state here. Hody Jones, no, this is an 8 Dawn, so another Mihawk. Gonna restand 4. And 2 for leader. Brenda says the second smoker has hit the trash. I repeat, the second smoker has hit the trash. Activate leader ability to get 2 more back. Back to 8 Dawn. Can't play anything 7 higher. Character-wise. Looking like we're going to put 3 underneath for an 8K swing. Porter on the take. Says I got plenty. Just want to get some more resources. You can't kill me and you don't want to attack with blockers. Knows I got to keep those things alive for the Shanks swings. Shanks attack just a little bit too high to really be defending, especially in a green red smoker deck. Carrot gonna freeze the Uda, keeping her in place, preventing her from swinging at me again. Also the only legal target. It is 7 costs or less. The Shanks blocker is readied, so I can't freeze it, and it doesn't freeze leader. So Uda, the only legal target for this carrot, but Uda will stay frozen, and I will not take a child slap to the face this game. Again. All right, 8 Dawn. What do we got? A Rayleigh here. Here comes Rayleigh, going to reduce the cost of carrot down to 3 and 2 for the Mihawk, but that's going to be perfect enough for the Rayleigh because it's also got the Shanks additional. So technically, she was down to 4 for that reduction. So 7 to swing from my now 5K or 7K. Shanks comes in, going to use the one that's been reduced for the block. And we'll pass back. Can we see a smoker off the top? It's a little late. It would just be nice to see at this point. Perona off the top, and it looks like another Mihawk. Defender's not really going to get me back in this game, considering I'm pretty much hosed with this Shanks on board. Going to take an awful lot, considering he has negative 3K just on the board alone with blocker and leader. And it's going to take me 5 just to equal the Shanks. 5 Dawn. Then with a 3, it's essentially going to take all 10 Dawn underneath the Mihawk to swing in and hope that he doesn't have the counter in hand. So obviously going for the election of another Dracula Mihawk. Restand 2 with leader ability. Back up to 8. Can't play anything 7 or higher. Going for 4. And choosing to go all face. So 7, that's 12 from leader. Porter takes it, takes the top off, building snake off the top. Draw the turn. Sadly, the Uda is now live. My carrot was unable to keep it sealed down. 3 cards in hand. Gold D. Roger. The drugs man himself, Hody Jones, and the 1 cost, 3 counter Demon Sword style. Porter in a commanding board position. Just has to fight through 2 blockers, 1 life to go for game. Notably, I have 1 open for the only counter I have in hand. And only good for leader. Here comes Gold D. Roger himself, another 13K rusher, forcing me to have to use my blocks early, because know if I get down to 0, those blocks are going to be useless. Mistake here. Can only work on leader. It's on me. But Mihawk gonna die because it is at 7 to the 8. Here comes 12. Gotta use it again. Here comes 13. Maybe 6. 13. And there's a 3rd smoker. Just where you want it. And the last card in life. Porter neglecting not to finish me off. Draw for turn, monkey off the top, so rusher's out. I got Otama, and it looks like my 2nd smoker. This is my 4th and last smoker. Here comes smoker. Yeah, Curly, it was close to Roger for the win, but it's pretty much dominating the board state. I'm not losing to the blocker for no reason. That's fair. That's fair. All right, Hody Jones gonna rest 2. Smoker can attack. Hody can. Here comes Hody into the blocker. Gets the 2K. Shank's still out there, so the -3 in effect there. Here comes lead into the Uda. And the man is going to counter out of the swing into the Uda. Porter says, no, you get nothing. You get nothing. And you like it, sir. Porter taking the shakes off the top, but really just put the 10 down underneath Goldie Roger for the win. And the slide in here. Congratulations, Porter, taking it down in the finals with Shanks. Shanks, and he gets himself a nice little bounty pack. We'll see what he gets. Porter, with this win, officially getting the most points ever received in a championship series. And being the very first two-time MVP, but the MVP prize has been done away with, to add prize support to everybody else. So technically there is no prize support for the MVP, but he is the first two-time MVP. So congratulations, Porter. Let's get the board up there, get everybody else to see what the final tallies are, what it's going to look like next week. Let's get the wheel ready, and you guys can get ready, because after this, I'm going to start making some YouTube videos. Of course, we'll raid Chicky 10E, see how he's doing, but I got to get some YouTube videos edited. I got a lot of work I got to get done. Only got about 2 hours left in the day before I get up tomorrow and start the record and start life and start the grind again. So guys, remember, got to keep the grind going. So congratulations, Porter, 48 points. Obviously, this is the longest season we've ever had, so technically the amount of points one can earn is much higher in this season. This is the first time we've done 11 weeks. But this was it. This was the highest number we've ever seen, and we'll see if this becomes the new benchmark for all other players going forward in the future championship series. But the most important part is the first person to, in two back-to-back even, but not necessarily needs to be back-to-back, but two back-to-back MVP first place for Porter in this championship series. Which means, as it stands right now, Porter will play variable. Cy will play Wolf. Marcus will play Greg. And Beef Patty will play Slack Tide. Curly, with his last ditch effort, only 1 point shy of taking variable spot. Just shy with his points. One more point had he beaten Porter in round one, possibly could have gotten himself into the top 8 spot, but Curly is going to be playing Super Coupe. To conquer, is going to be playing Spencer. Colin versus G-Bosk, and Cam Sharp versus Vic Damone Jr. Now, I have to specify that this is not the final bracket that is the way it's going to work out. This is... Curly says, I wanted it, but I couldn't squeak it through. It's all right, brother. You put in a great effort. I mean, you won on camera and you broke the curse. And I do want to say that just because this is the list right now does not mean you are not in the championship series. I've been doing this for 5 series now. I have yet to have one of these series where people don't bow out last minute. Most of these people have not given me the confirmation they're available on the 8th yet. I need all 16 of these people to confirm with me. You should have received a Discord message with the information asking for your baseball card, because I do baseball cards for all the top 16 players to commemorate your achievement of making it to the top, and to use these for commercial breaks for a little bit to say thank you and give people an idea to see who you are. You can use your own picture, you can use an avatar, completely up to you. But I make baseball cards to celebrate the top 16 players who performed well, to put them in here. Anybody who drops out of the top 8 means, Curly, you're in. So if anybody in that top, doesn't mean you can kill them, Curly. You can't kill them. But if they can't make it, or happen to be sick, or something happens that day, Curly, you're up in the 8th place. So you still have the potential. But it also means everybody from the other cup moves up. It kind of like snakes itself up there. So there is a chance. There is a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. There's a chance. There's a chance, buddy. So stay tuned because I have not gotten confirmation from everybody. Porter, I'm pretty sure is locked in. I'm pretty sure he's got it's a Trafalgar Law manga. If he's sick, he's crawling out of his deathbed to get this thing. So I think the only one I can really guarantee will be attending right now is Porter. And it's only because if he was in his deathbed in a coffin, he would crawl out of that coffin to go win this Trafalgar Law. So that is the lengths to which this man will go to win this manga. Be prepared. Everybody else, free game. I haven't gotten confirmation from any of these individuals. I'm still waiting for feedback on their baseball cards. Please take those messages seriously. Fill out the information because it takes me a lot of work to get those things together. I got to build the slides. I got to get all the information transferred over. I got to QA QC it with you so it looks the way you want it to, and then I can post these things up when our championship matchup. Curly says, "I know Law's his favorite character. It's a really cool card too. It really is. He does have a manga already, but this was the one he wanted most of all. Was this one? Even though the stance looks awkward, whatever. This was the one he wanted. This is his first Trafalgar Law manga, and he really wanted it. So now he's gonna be playing for blood, and we're gonna see if he can do it. All right, we have the packs to give away, and we're gonna do a nice little raid, and we're gonna call it a night. And your boy is gonna start trying to figure out how to copy, cut, paste in Adobe. It's gonna be fun. They said it was gonna be fun. Everybody loves this. They said. Got a few more names to add from the last one here. Let's see. I think that's everybody. Yeah, that should be everybody. All right, the wheel set. Ooh, it's a healthy wheel. That's a healthy wheel. Let's check it out. 2 packs. Don't forget, one of these could be the alt art. If they're not in these two, they're in these two. That means tune in Thursday, where we're going to do some cool card spoilers with Porter in the studio and checking out some of the new things that are coming out, and giving the last 2 packs before next week when we finally open and break the seal of this amazing PRB 2 box. I cannot wait to give these things away. But right now, we know for a fact 1 alt art is left in this box. Of these 4 packs, 1 alt. Is it going to be tonight or will it be Thursday? We'll find out tonight. Let's get to the wheel. All right, shuffling up this very healthy wheel. Love to see it. Let's see who's going with pack 1. Who's going to take a shot at this alt art? Who's going to walk home with it? The new comment from Doncray69, the man that stopped in the middle with a theory crafting. Congratulations, Doncray. New chatter, first time chatter, and first time winner. We right out the bat, Doncray69, you got your win. Optimus, where were you? Where were you? Oh, you were 2 away. You were so close. 2 away. All right, we're gonna find out if our first time chatter, who disappeared by the way, I don't know if he got on my Discord. I'm gonna have to chase this man down. By the way, Doncray, if I can't find you in 2 weeks, you got the alt, it means it's going somewhere else. Just FYI, I do have a rule. I will do everything in my power to get a hold of you. And after 2 weeks, if I can't get a hold of you, I got to give it away to someone else. So we'll see what we do with it. So let's find out. But if you're out there, get in my Discord so I can get your information. It's free. It costs you nothing. I don't need your information. I'm not big corporate. I just want to give you free stuff. I do nothing with your information. I don't want to do anything, and nor would I, because I hate the stuff just as much as you do. I don't even need your real name. Baby 5, Bello Betty, Shanks, Ursa Shock, Buffalo, Lindbergh, Ice Block, Pheasant Peck, Moji and Kabaji, Hair Removal Fist, Roar Norzoro. Our first rare is Jimbei. What are you guys saying? Alt art double rare? Alt art double rare? Oh, Trafalgar Law SR. The alt is still live. The alt is still live. Super rare Trafalgar Law. All right, congratulations. This one, the purple one. Does anybody know if this sees a lot of play? I haven't seen it in a lot of deck lists. Nice win. Congratulations, Doncray. Now, let's get to pack number 2. Let's see, is this pack the alt? Is it? Or do we go to the last 2 packs? We'll find out now after 39 Royale with the centimeter steel. 39 Royale, congratulations. 30, like, look at the inch by. Oh my, almost able to take it home. Rigged indeed. Come on, 39. Man has won at least 3 or 4 packs from me already, but 39 Royale, congratulations. Huge, huge W. Is this it, guys? Is this it? Totally rigged, says Curly. Oh boy, let's see. Is this the alt art, or are we going to Thursday? Is this it, or are we going to Thursday? Let's find out. He just left my crib. All right, Yonko, tell him to hit me up again. Make sure I have his information. Shocky. Marshall D. Teach. Let's see it Thursday. Crocodile. Django. Helmeppo. Ice Block Pheasant Peck. Buffalo. Color of Arms Hockey. Hina. Crocus. Our first rare. Doflamingo. Don Quixote Doflamingo. Is this it? Is this it? Hit! A double rare pack! So that means the last Thursday. Tazzy already called it. That means the alt is right here, guys. The alt is sitting pretty right here. Double rare pack. Not great value. Sanji not seeing much play. I don't know what the Don Quixote is being played in. I think I saw it in some list. In Sanji? And the Sanji, the rare? Alright, that's not bad. 39 Royale, congratulations. Double rare pack. Not the greatest of all wins, but free is free, and you know how those prizes go. You usually get something special. So, that's going to do it for today. Guys, tune in Thursday. Order an eye. There's only 2 packs left. That means the alt is right here. And one of these 2 packs. And you guys can hold me to it. That's why I love doing this, because you guys can hold me to what's in these packs. Because I want, more than anything, to give you guys a manga. I want to give you a god pack. You know what would make my life so freaking happy is if I pull one of these packs next week, or a couple. I wanted to get halfway through the box. I don't want all the like glory gone in the first pack. But nothing would make me happier than one of you going home with a free PRB pack. That's a $7 value, absolutely for free. And the mailing cost, which is usually about $3 per. So that's $10 value for free, just by simply hitting exclamation point join and walking home with the God of God packs. Close to $1,000 in value. I'll of course have to insure it and take pictures and do everything I can to make sure you get it. I might even have to fly to your house to make sure you get it. But I'm going to go to the end of zero to make sure if you get the big hits, it's all going to you. And no, this isn't a gotcha. No, I don't need any money from you. I just want you guys to show up when you can. And I appreciate you guys being here. From the bottom of my heart, it means a lot that you guys keep showing up. Lonely Dubot. Thank you so much, Lonely. That's why I appreciate you guys. It's always just for you. All I want is for you guys to enjoy the game, have fun, chat with me in the chat, and help us grow this community so we can finally put an end to all the scalpers out there and hopefully become this awesome esport, if you want to, of card games and get people at the public stage with massive prizes, because these games are absolutely outstanding, fun to play, fun to watch, and just a great community builder. So help me grow my community, and as always, thank you very much. As always, stay humbro, but we're gonna get our raid on. Thank you, Lonely, I appreciate you. Let's get Chicken Tendies in the chat here. Say hi to them. Let them know I'm going to be doing some video editing. Did I get that right? Oh, no, I did it wrong. My bad. We're going to give them a raid, say thank you. Just want to say thank you to all of you guys. I really appreciate you being here. It was a great stream. I hope you had a great time. Join us Thursday or tomorrow, or Wednesday. Sorry, we got Fab on Wednesday. We got so much more coming your way. Stay tuned. Stay home, bro.
You know why I forget about the relic? Because in my view, that bottom left corner, I don't see it. I can't see it on my screen. My armrest on for my mic is blocking that. So I forget I even have it. I literally forget I even have it. Oh, bro! Pie! Welcome in, Humbro Pie, and all the Raiders coming in with Humbro Pie Nation! I don't know why. I didn't realize, you know what, Humbro Pie, I'll be honest, usually I get your raids on like Mondays. You made me realize today's Monday and not like Thursday. It kind of feels like it for some reason. I don't know why. Anyways. Humbro Pie, how are you? Still chasing down Pound Cake for those additional prizings for your care package. Oh, from Humbro. I sent him on third. Dude, nice. Humbro Pie, how are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome in, and welcome in, Raiders. It's great to see you all. We are here still with our cult activities. You know, I never got that thank you. And you know what, Bellstar? You're not gonna. You ain't gonna. Anyways, Humbro P, thank you so much for the raid. Everybody coming in with the Humbro Pie Nation, thank you for the raid. Congrats, Bellstar and Grey Pass. She tossed it over to me. One day you'll catch a little Pound Cake, Humbro Pie, homie. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for the raid. We're still here with some nefarious shit. How are the games tonight? Anything interesting? Anything spicy? Anything crazy going on? What's going on? Speak to me, baby. Speak to me. Trying to think, are there any updates? Anything going on with us? Saw Chainsaw Man last weekend. That was awesome. Anyways, we're here with some Cult of the Lamb shit. If you guys are here from the raid, lock in. We're using chat integration, and you will have a chance to join the cult. Especially, like what? Like what? A Halloween special? What did you do? What did you guys get into? Anchor Deep, a trophy for killing Calamar. I like your nails, chicks. You want to see them? I did black and orange, or black and green. Sorry, I don't know colors. I'm colorblind. Black and green. I'll take a ground lamb burger with goat cheese, thanks. Ask and you shall receive. You know what, Stranger Things? I'll have my servers get right on it. Kira, please. To negate one attack, event cost +1 in the middle of the top. What? That's so sick. That is so fun. What the fuck? That is awesome. I want to play around. I want to play? I want to do that. Let me do that as Vegapunk. Anyways, thank you. Yeah, I'll have Kira right on it. When you snapped in the mic, it scratched your brain? Like that? That shit hit? She said, ah! Anyways. Nah. Nah what, Bell? Oh, hell nah. That's not hitting? Bro, the games are all over the place. Milled my key card twice against Porter. Dude, which deck? Threw me off since I'm clicker trained? Yeah. You said treats? She said treats? That's part of his hypnotizing act for the cult. Be careful. Don't tell them nothing. They already know. If I'm gonna be honest, I told them. I laid it all out. I told them that. And they said, yeah, that's what we want. Why am I a flop? What did I do?